3 because I think we've done 3, but I think it might be only the official second one we've named. Yes. So who knows? But it's a good show. Everybody really liked it. So
yes, I want to let people also know that we do have a P.O. box. You can mail us stuff. P.O. Box 82306, Columbus, Ohio 43202. We got a letter from at the New Thoreau on Twitter, all the way from the Virgin Islands, Brian.
I am a Chad, though, so I couldn't read that letter.
Oh, really? Wow. He thought that you might be nervous about the nature of the island.
But I don't love sex talk on my show. But,
right.
So,
the LA live show is out. If you want to see that, our live show from LA, The Virgil. We did it earlier in January. You can go watch that over on our Patreon page.
Virgil.
We got some live shows on the way. We're going to be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on April 3rd. We're going to be in New York City on April 6th and April 7th. April 7th, we're going to be guests on a WrestleMania Watch show. So that'll be with the WrestleMania gals, Kath and Rachel.
Pretty badass.
Yeah.
I'd say it's the first time Brett and I are ever allowed to talk about wrestling on stage. So that'll be fun, right?
Right. It'll be nice. And we can let it,
always a dream of ours.
Exactly.
Me.
We're making
mostly.
it.
But we're going to get to talk about wrestling.
Hustler's Handbook zine is ordered. It's on the way. So that will be coming soon to your digital zine inbox. We're catching up on those and going to be getting everything ready to go. The travel zine is up next. I've already got some artwork in. Sex zine, I'm getting some artwork in. So we're ready to go.
Can we real quick, because you're still on the tour stuff.
Yeah.
If you are a person in Boston that knows anybody, we're having trouble booking the show. We want to come there really bad, but the venues aren't the venues aren't calling us back. They're not responding back, and the one I found had a show there. So help us out with a Boston thing.
And also, if you are going to be if you're in Las Vegas, we are going to be doing a live show there at the end of May. We don't have a venue yet for that, but somewhere around the May 24th area, we're going to be in Las Vegas. And then leading up to that, we're hoping to hit Phoenix, Denver, and Albuquerque. So those are coming up in May. We are moving along with all the touring stuff, and Katie is now doing a lot of the bookings, so she can focus on getting us way ahead, which is where we need to be, and me not so frantic, so things are looking good.
Hey, I am not writing in the sex zine. I am out on the sex zine. So that's just
you don't
a
want
little
to be
thing.
You're just letting everybody know right now.
Yeah, just letting everybody know. Don't get the sex zine thinking you're going to see some Brian writing. The deal was we could do one, but I wasn't going to do anything for it.
We do have Girls Chat's going to write something for us, right?
We are coming to Maine. Yes, Girls Chat are writing for us. Somebody said Boston sucks. Come to Maine instead. We're going to Portland, Maine. I promise.
We're going to go to Portland,
That book is actually booked. That show is actually booked. I don't know the date right now off the top of my head, but there'll be a poster out soon. So there you go.
Right. And I think that's everything.
All right.
It's a lot.
I'm back, folks.
Brian is here. Thank you, Josh, for stepping in last week.
I needed a week off for everybody. I took a whole week off. Don't worry. I already did one podcast today already.
Good.
Connor Southard's podcast about sci-fi. I wish I knew what it was, but I just totally forgot.
Okay.
But I did. My voice sounds weird. Jason, can you hear it in the monitoring? They said my voice sounds weird. It might just be my voice, though.
Your voice, you do sound a little weird.
I do sound a little weird.
Maybe not. I think it might just be my ear.
Hold on. Give me 2.5 seconds.
My ear's probably broke. Well,
is that normal? I'm thinking.
You would probably be beneficial if you backed off your mic a little bit. Actually,
is that good? Is this good?
Because you were cutting it out last week.
Last week I wasn't here.
2 weeks ago.
I haven't been here in 1 week. I took a whole entire week off and then 2 podcasts today.
Wow,
so I'm
that's
back,
incredible,
baby, and I'm doing one Tuesday and Wednesday too.
I'm going to be talking to a cam girl. I'm going to do a special 45. See, my time is worth more than an average person, so 45 minutes is actually of Brett Payne time is actually 1 hour of regular podcasting time. So that's why my podcasts, my third shows tend to be around that.
I am talkative and I love conversation, and I figure if I'm going to set Brett, here's the thing about Brett. He just has to come downstairs and sit down and do a podcast. I have to do like a whole setup and clean up when I'm done.
Yeah,
so
that
yes,
does suck.
an hour 15 is what you're going to get, because I'm not going to set up for 45 minutes. But you know, usually the Brace shows are about an hour because we both punch ourselves out. Just fucking end that thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be really this tour is gonna be great. I think it's gonna be cold. I have friends up in the Northeast that I've spoken to that said, you know, it might be lucky if it's 50 degrees.
I'm fine with that.
I am too. It's better
If
than
over
this.
30 is fine. Once it's in the 20s, it's in like, then you get to teens. We've been out of teens for a couple weeks now, but I was really trying not to crack up looking at the snow today. You know,
Yeah.
Just my wife was sitting there, and I'm like, we wanted to do something today, and we actually dragged our asses out there, and it was crazy how miserable it was. Because with the kid, my wife's like, we can go walk over this place to go get lunch. It's only a 4-minute walk. But with Charlotte, it's a fucking 12-minute walk.
Yeah, it does suck.
She wants to play on shit. She wants to get lost in the leaves. Her legs are little as hell.
Had a whole conversation about this last night about, you know, distance from your house to the school. Not your particular house,
Right.
but if you have a kid, you know, I'm not. It came off like I was yelling at this person, but I really wasn't. She actually listens to the show. I wasn't yelling, and I wasn't trying to be mean, but I feel like we should. I feel like we should walk to school if it's under a half mile, because.
Oh, for sure.
It is.
I would say 1 mile.
I agree, because it just feels.
I would say
it feels like a travesty that people start a car to drive to the end of the street, and
yeah.
I see it. I see it happen in my neighborhood, and starting a car. I hate to sound like Louis C.K. and say like starting a car is a miracle and stuff like that, but let's try to start them less. You know, I hear so many people whenever I talk about, you know, some new road sign or some new road thing that I want to happen. They're like, well, what we ought to do is ban cars. And I'm like, well, you need to tell that to the people that are driving fucking a half a mile to the grocery store or something like that to pick up one thing and then get home.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that, dude. I ain't driving anywhere. I drive nowhere that's within 2 blocks of my house. That's for damn sure. And you're right, a mile's fine, but, you know, these kids are so little and their legs suck, and walking them to school a half mile probably isn't easy. And they whine, and they hate cold, and everything.
I usually Charlotte rides home on my shoulders usually. I'm like a chariot for her.
Yeah, I agree. I just, oh my God. Now we're getting play Providence instead of Boston. See, here's the thing, folks. I'm going to tell you this. There's a thing with like touring. When you're a touring act from the middle of the country, you play big cities. There are big cities around the country that are must plays. We've done a lot of them, right, Brett? We've done Los Angeles. We've done San Francisco. We've done Seattle. We've done New York a bunch of times. Chicago a bunch of times. Those are cities that you just have to go to. You can't like skip them because some people don't like them. And Boston, to us, is actually a big deal. Like, because people keep telling me don't go to Boston, it sucks. And I'm like, well, but for me and Brett, Boston's a fucking big deal. That's a big city to us.
I'm gonna get cheap tri-corner hats and hand them out this Christmas. I'm like, no, these are handmade, like in Boston.
But it's just for me and Brett, it's like for me and Brett, it's just some of these cities that people tell us not. I mean, people have told us not to do New York. Oh, why are you doing New York? And it's like, well, because it's a big fucking deal to perform in New York. And it's a big deal to perform in Boston. And a lot of people don't want you. Boston is the city that I've got the most. Don't go to Boston. And it's like, I feel bad for the people that are in Boston, because we also get email. Because I once said, well, I talked to somebody from Boston and they said just do New York and Boston people will come there. And then this Boston person got furious at me. Like, you guys need to come to Boston, so we're going.
Yeah.
Plus a tour of New York, Philly, Boston, and Providence probably isn't going to make, or New York, Philly, Portland, Maine, and Providence might not make any sense financially. Boston makes more sense. But I promise we'll get to Providence someday. I have somebody else yelling at me to go to Providence.
Yeah. You brought some good candy this time too for the call-in. We got gummy check.
Nerd, big chewy sour jelly beans. They're good.
Crazy good.
Here's my review. I've been eating them like crazy.
It's like a jelly bean with a bumpy nerd skin, and they are like real sour, not like fake Sour Patch Kid sour. Like the stuff that if you eat too much of it, it will like turn the inside of your lips raw. Like the inside of your mouth gets all fucking painful.
Yeah.
It's the good kind of sour.
Woo! I love them though. They're tasty.
Yeah, they wake you up.
Tasty boys.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to Vegas. I guess Punk Rock Bowling is that weekend.
What does that mean?
I think it's a festival where
Oh.
Brace actually described it as a rock music festival for people who wear shorts.
Okay.
So I think that perfectly encapsulates probably what it is.
That makes sense. I can wear shorts. I can
Yeah.
do that.
I went to the Arnold Classic this weekend. Arnold Schwarzenegger's fitness festival in Columbus, Ohio, every year.
Uh-huh.
That was cool. There was a bunch of hunks there, and it smells
that
like
go?
enormous farts
Everywhere?
you go.
Really? Everybody's just farting out protein?
I don't know what it is
They're
about
just
the
drinking
farts
like
there.
40-gram protein shakes. Just
You
cracking
know what
them
people
open.
are drinking
like
the shit
6
out of?
packs.
You know what people are
What?
drinking shit out of? Bang.
Really?
Just double fisting bang.
Pre-workout.
Yeah, just bang
I'm about to
everywhere.
fucking get ripped.
I think they were handing bang out for free inside the convention.
Yeah.
And people were just chugging those.
You have all
things.
those couch potatoes loading up on creatine and guarana and shit.
I think, and that's what bang is going to end up being, right? It's going to be one of those. It's going to be one of those things that's for working out, but
Right.
it's really for people that are roofing.
Yeah.
For
Right.
people that work at an office that get a 2 p.m. crash are going to drink.
Right. People that are working 70 hours a week at an office.
Yeah.
Or like a lazy stay-at-home parent that just is addicted to bang.
Caffeine. It's a lot of fucking. I think it's double the caffeine of regular.
Yeah, you were saying it was
coffee.
like 300 milligrams or something fucking outrageous.
Yeah,
which
plus
is-
creatine, plus amino acids and B vitamins.
Oh, God. Yeah.
No sugar though.
Oh, great. It's good
Yeah.
for you then. Yeah, that
That
sounds
was
healthy.
wise of them to do the no sugar.
Yeah. Because then it's just medicine.
Yeah. Yeah, people will be like, oh, it's not going to fuck with me. I'm not going to fuck with my diabetes or anything like
No,
that.
it's not gonna make me feel bloated.
Yeah. Bang made a big splash in Columbus this weekend. Red and Black Rules in the chat said, I can't wait to start seeing everyone in a kitchen I work at drinking Bang.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's coming.
It's happening. I've
the
seen it too.
In Columbus, I went to a gas station yesterday that had its own special Bang freezer and then refrigerator. And then in the regular refrigerator section, they had 3 rows of Bang.
What?
It's like they exclusively almost, that's the
Yeah.
energy drink now.
Yeah,
Bang
they-
is here to stay, baby.
I'm sure it's what kids want, what kids crave.
Oh, that'll be very cool. That will be when kids are just taking Bang to school and we have to
Yeah.
watch like local news coverage of some fucking kid having a heart attack. I listened
Instagram Live drinking 3 bangs in a row.
to, yeah.
I can't feel my legs.
I actually listened to the podcast about Monster Energy drink
Oh, really?
versus Red Bull.
Yeah.
And how shit was just going. There was like this Wild West time of these energy drinks where it was just, they were just making them like crazy. And
Yeah.
then one girl drank a Red Bull and had a fucking heart attack. And then the motherfucking Red Bull people had to go
Right.
in front of Congress and stuff like that. And it became like a really serious thing at that point. And
Did it tone down the formula?
yeah, I don't know if they ever toned down the formula. I think they just were like more straightforward about this stuff is fucking wild.
Yeah,
because people
right.
just were treating it like it wasn't wild. Like
No,
you
I
could-
remember my mom used to buy like 6-packs. My mom had like a 24 case of it. You know, like the 4-pack. She would get 6 of the 4-packs. Yeah, when it first came out.
Yeah, because it's like when it first came out, I remember being like, "What's Red Bull?"
It's this miracle drink.
Yeah, I remember saying, "What's Red Bull?" and just people be like, "Red Bull? Oh, it ain't shit, man. I drink like 4 of them in the morning." And it's like, well, probably don't.
Right.
You know?
Not a good idea.
Yeah, Bang's gonna be one of those YouTube phenomenons
Yeah.
where some idiot drinks 6 Bangs in like 4 minutes, like Shonice will
Yeah.
drink like 6 Bangs in 4 minutes and then fucking have a heart attack and die.
Yeah. So I have something that's sweeping the nation. I wanted to know about from you real quick. Has Momo come into your world at all?
Yeah.
Really?
Actually, as a joke though.
Oh, but no real. I got an actual Momo scare. I got a real like concerned parent said something to me about it.
I just came into my daughter's room when she had her friend staying tonight, and I was like, "Hey, can y'all not kill yourself doing Momo?" And they got a good laugh out of it, you know.
That's good. That's smart.
But she did say she's run into Momo online. It's just nothing to. She's like, it's like not something I'm interested in.
She said she actually saw it.
Yeah, she's seen it.
I don't know. That's specious. I can't find any actual evidence of it.
Really, you looked for it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't look for it. She said she's seen stuff and gotten messages on her social media about Momo, and that she has a friend at school that's like really into Momo.
It's so weird to me because it says like so much about like what if a YouTube video could never make my kid commit suicide.
No,
I don't
said to
see
my
that
kid.
happening at all.
That's the thing with the stranger dangers type stuff. Is like I talked to my kid and was like very early on, and I was like, don't meet up with people from online unless you know for sure who they are.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not going to, you fucking idiot.
right.
You know?
I'm not trying to meet up with strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very weird though that people think that like their kid can get hypnotized by a video by saying, and that thing too is like not even like that thing. It looks so normal to kids these days. Like Vampirina is one of the most popular fucking characters that's out right now. The Monsters House, whatever their bullshit show is, the Adam Sandler one.
Yeah. I mean, Momo's kind of scary looking to me.
Yeah,
as an adult.
Hotel
It's
Transylvania.
not a cartoon.
Yeah,
It doesn't look like a
It looks-
cartoon.
it
It looks
looks
kind
like
of freaky deaky.
it looks like Spirited Away. It looks like anime shit.
Yeah. I think that's what. I think somebody said it's some Japanese phenomenon thing that. But parents are afraid. Remember when that show 13 Things I Hate About You, or that 13 Things or
13
Reasons Why came out?
Yeah.
All the kids in my daughter's school districts, their parents were like, "You can't watch that. You'll commit suicide." Like it's the Ring video. Or something.
Right. Just takes hold.
And I finally asked my daughter, what is this thing? They're freaking out. I got a fucking email from the school about it.
Right.
And she was like, I watched it. It wasn't that good. It was like a drama
It's a
TV
shitty
show.
show.
I'm not
Yeah.
into it, you know? Like parents will freak out about anything as long as you say it. I just posted today a thing from Nextdoor from downtown Columbus. There was a manager at some bar that said some woman is going around to the bars selling roses with fentanyl powder on them. It's like,
That was you that posted that?
Yeah, I didn't post it on Nextdoor.
Oh.
I clipped it out of Nextdoor.
Right, but you-
and
wow.
posted it on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw
because
that.
It came in my email, and I saw it, and I was just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?
Who's doing
You
that?
would believe that?
Wow, that's such a waste of money.
Yeah, it's also
You can
like,
make
who would
so
do
much
it?
fucking money off of fentanyl. If you told people you had fentanyl flowers, you could make a ton of money.
Yeah, and the type of people that are freaked out by it would just believe anything. Like,
Yeah.
it's not even like who would do it, like logically, if you start
Right.
thinking about who would do it logically with the money and stuff like that. But it's
Right.
just like, what kind of a person? How many people do you think on this planet exist that would walk around and dose people with fentanyl to kill them?
Nobody.
You know?
Nobody.
But it doesn't. I don't get why. I don't get how that comes up. She said that all the
Dude.
bar managers in the short north are saying that is what's happening. I'm
Is
like,
it-
I just don't think that's what's happening, dude.
Is it just from that feeling of feeling like you're better than some sicko that would do that?
Yeah, I have no
You just
idea.
make up a person that you're better than?
Yeah, I mean that's another thing that I saw recently that was like that I saw recently that was like about the Arnold Classic comes in town, and they said kidnappings spike while the Arnold Classic's in town for human trafficking or whatever.
Right.
And like, I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen, but man, I don't know. Like, it seems like if like people are just getting ripped away, if kids are getting ripped away from their families in record numbers, they'd probably cancel the thing. I'm not like 100% like saying it's not happening, because
Sure.
a reputable person. Or not a reputable person, some person I don't know tweeted something, and then a person that I follow retweeted it saying that. And I was like, man, I don't know. I don't know if there's like kidnapper gangs running Columbus, Ohio during the Arnold Classic. Like, why are we freaking well, I know why we freak everybody out all the time, but I don't know why people just freak out constantly. The shit that is really scary, they don't even fucking think about. They just think it's a normal fucking part of life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they really love to cook up some scenarios to freak themselves out, though.
Yeah. I mean, the things that really happen, like a guy walking into a building, like a white supremacist walking into a building and firing a bunch of shots and killing people, they don't fucking sit around and think about that all the time.
Right.
You know, they think they should have the freedom to have the gun.
Right.
You know, but then they're like freaked out because they think some fucking gang is putting fentanyl in the bullets to make them deadlier or something.
Right.
Like, I don't get why you would like freak yourself out about things like that.
Yeah.
Well, did you get that phone number I sent you?
No.
For that first call,
it's in Facebook.
It's in Facebook. Get that Facebook, and like I said, Zach in the chat said Tide Pods covered in fentanyl.
Yeah, right. That's the new hotness.
Just Tide Pods covered in fentanyl. And like I said,
that's what yeeting is.
I don't know if kidnappings go up this week or if people disappear more this week, but I don't think so. I don't think you would have an event year after year after year where there's record numbers of kidnappings. And also, record numbers of kidnappings is like, what, 2 in one day? You know?
Yeah, okay. You ready to get this call on?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, let's see here. Thank you for calling Street Fight Radio. I hope you can hear us. How's it going?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, it doesn't feel like he can hear us.
Hello.
Hello. Boy, there's
Howdy.
no sound coming from that phone. Is it like there's just no sound coming from it?
Yeah.
And they said they can't hear us. So we might not be here. Yeah, he's not talking at all. Oh, wait.
There we go. Yeah, I can just hear you guys.
Hey, what's up? Why is it on the phone? Try to replug that fucker in. Hold on 1 second, okay? We're gonna have this up. The phone probably needs to be plugged in. Hey, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello? Fuck.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Frick.
Oh,
I
come
can
on.
hear. I can hear you.
I can't hear anybody.
Oh, you can't hear him?
Yeah. You can hear, Brett can hear him?
For a minute I did, but now I can't.
Shit.
Yeah,
Hold
I
on.
can hear both you guys.
Ah, we're here. I got him. Brett?
I can hear.
All right, what's up? How's it going?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
We're doing great now that it's working. So you DM'd me a couple weeks ago because we were, and I took a couple weeks off, so we weren't able to get it done right away. And you used to work for Amazon. Why don't you tell people what you did when you worked at Amazon?
Yeah, so I was a video producer in a small org up here at corporate in Seattle.
Okay, and what kind of stuff? So you made video? Did you make videos for the company to advertise or internal videos?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So our team did both, but I was specifically always external audience facing. So ad work. There's if you really like Christmas music, and no one should, there's an Amazon original that I also produced that's up. But again, I don't suggest you intake that unless you really like Christmas music.
I love it. I do love it.
That's the kind of stuff that I did. Go ahead.
So what's it like working there? What's it like working up in the because you were, I assume, in the corporate office and not one of these people in a fucking
Cage?
in a cage or in some weird warehouse peeing in a bucket.
Yeah, and that's that's a lot of the reason why I wanted to call in and chat with you both is because I'm a Midwest kid. I grew up in Michigan, watched our jobs go away. My dad was a labor leader. I've worked at both Hat World and Lids.
Nice.
Lids.
Know what it's like to.
I buy all my hats at
Both.
Lids. That's not a commercial for
Both.
Lids, but I buy all my hats for Lids. But I would never in a million years go in there unless I was planning to buy a hat because Do not ever go in there and look around because it's such a small store, and the salesman might as well just jump onto your back and ride around the store with you.
That's true.
It's the worst fucking place in the world.
Yeah, that's true. They can tell what you're looking at.
Yeah. Oh, all of our shirts are buy one get one half off. Yes, every single day of the year.
Always.
All of your shirts
Yeah.
are buy one get one. All your hats are buy one get one half off. I only need one hat. I'm a one hat man.
If you're looking for the real tree, those just came in. All of that is a third off this weekend.
I actually joined because the guy wouldn't shut his mouth. I have a Lids card at my
Nice.
house. I joined the Lids Club.
Wow, you're in the program.
I don't even buy hats.
The
that
Man
much.
of Many Hats Club.
I don't have that many hats. I buy one hat every 8 months and wear it every day until it looks like
cheaper
shit.
than haircuts.
Well, yes, it is. But it's like you buy a hat every few months and they're like, you're stupid if you don't join this Lids Club. And
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know.
You obviously like lids. You enjoy a nice lid.
The amount,
You know, you don't run
the
around
amount of
exposed
pressure
or
they applied
open.
on- yeah, they applied so much pressure on those poor kids, myself included, to get
Oh.
those memberships out there. And you're like, but it's free.
Yeah.
Wait,
why,
didn't they-
why do I have to get numbers on something I'm giving away?
And at one point they were offering to spray your hat for $5. They still do that?
No.
Will they still spray your hat, or they sell you the whole can?
No, those motherfucking crazy ass people will straight up try to sell you that stupid thing you put in the washer that doesn't work.
Oh yeah, the dish. What about the dishwasher
Yeah.
cage? Yeah.
They'll try to sell you that every time, and it's like I bought one finally,
Yeah.
and I used it, and it just if you wash your hat in a washer, the whole the bill just gets soft.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't. You can't do it any other way
And then-
than toothbrush.
Yeah, unless you wipe down your entire washer, it's going to get covered in food grease. It's just going to get splashed around with food grease.
I'm not going to lie. I just straight up worked out a deal where I just sold a lot of people hats, not against inventory, for cash, because that was a better deal for me, because that's
makes-
how this whole thing is supposed to work, right? Anyway, I don't know if I'm
That
outing
makes
myself.
sense. No, I can
Already,
understand.
exposing the
I
criminal
would have done
shit
the
that I've
same.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, one for me, one for them.
Yeah, you were wearing 3 hats at a time when you were working there. So, it would be smart though if you worked there and you sold a hat and then you bought the half off hat for yourself. All your hats were half off because, I sold this hat. Now I'll get a half off hat. I've been in before we get back to Amazon, I will tell you that I've been in a fucking Lids where there were 3 employees working.
Yeah, yeah.
And that store is the size of a fucking toll booth.
Yeah.
It's hell. That place is hell. I wish there was a place to any other place in this world to buy hats. So, what was it like working in the? What was it like working in the corporate office? Because we hear so much about what it's like to work in the warehouse, what it's like to work in the delivery, and how shitty it is. But we know for a fact that we know that life is going to be easier for people in the corporate office. I think we all agree that it might, but it is also more crazy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I've read stuff where they had just incredible demands for the amount of hours, and they have to pledge allegiance to the company and just constantly be working. They
Yeah,
ran a
that's what it
pretty
sounds
much
like.
culture of brutal punishment from the stuff I've read.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So how was it for you?
And I think that, a lot of that depends on, what kind of team you're on, right? So most of the employees, and you're told in orientation that you're not supposed to tell the people that live in Seattle how many people work at corporate. That's when I raised my hand and asked if I still
Interesting.
could.
Is there a reason
And,
that
it's
you can
around
think?
70,000.
Can you think of a reason?
Wow.
Yeah, 100%. Because the sad truth here in Seattle, where rents are insane. Seattle Times already backed up the fact that you need about $71,000 a year if you're a single person to be able to actually just live here, be within Seattle. So I honestly believe Amazon's thought around that is if we don't actually expose how many people are here making these kinds of incomes, then that blame can't be put on us. no one's going to point that back and say, well, you've got 70,000 people, you know, making at least, you know, 75K a year or higher. And that's the lowest you're going to come in at, you know, and they don't want that out because.
What size building did you work in? What size of a building did you work in? Was it a full building? I didn't see their headquarters. I saw the big domes when I was there.
Yeah, you saw Jeff's balls.
I love that every single person called it Jeff's balls.
Yeah.
Like that, this city, the cool people in this city know that all that is Jeff Bezos laying his balls down in their city.
Yeah, 3 of them too. Like, he can't even have 2 balls like the rest of us. He's got to have 3.
He wants to have more. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I moved around. I was in a building called Nessie first. It was connected to Bigfoot. So, you know, they have quippy names. Look at this one. It's named after Bigfoot. Look at this one. It's named after the Loch Ness Monster. Isn't this cool?
Right.
But at the same time, once you're inside, it's all just still, you know, cubicles with dry erase walls. And, you know, it comes down to what team you're on, right? So out of that 70,000, most are developers. And I get they spend a lot of money on developers. They're trying to think that if we pay, you know, 30,000 of these people to do this job, we just need one Alexa or one, you know, we need one thing to hit in order to make that all worth it. And I know that those can be grueling. I know that the people who work in sales, they find that also grueling. You know, I worked on a creative team, which is another reason that I like to share this story, is because we can't look to work towards getting people in the warehouse paid what they deserve, treated like humans, and just overall better if they don't see just how opposite it is at the same company you're working for. You know, my check came from the same place their check came from. Why was my life so much different? Why did I not have to get fired because I needed to use a bathroom? You know, I was there 2 years. I didn't take a vacation, but I still took vacation simply because I didn't let them, like, overutilize me based on those hours that they're paying me on. So I was paid on salary, but I still tracked my own hours. Mind you, a boss never had me clock in. No one tracked. Nobody above me was looking.
Right.
So I tracked my own and said, you pay me for 164 hours this month, but I worked 180, and that means next month you're not going to see me as much. And I worked on a team where I at least had the support of a boss and the support of his boss that said, you know what? Like, you're right. We do owe you time. So go ahead and take vacation. And most people, I think, in that space looked at this and just went, how fucking cool for me is this? But instead of going, how much shittier does this make how we treat other people? And there's something not right here. This is a big disconnect. That people just, you know, they take what they got for themselves. They tell themselves they earned it however way they earned it, and then they just ride with it. And they don't share that these kinds of things, you know, exist. If you're, you know, an L4 or higher in the company, you're going to be making 80 grand plus, you know. And I was huge on salary as far as, like, letting other people know what I made. Because not only does that allow us on the whole team to be paid fairly, but that allows people to see just how unfairly these warehouse workers, drivers, and everyone is paid. You know, we do a good job of shining the light on that. We don't do a good job on shining the light on how, you know, that other half lives, and that other half, someone has to be willing to say, no, we can't keep doing this.
Yeah, I wonder. It does make me wonder if people in. It does make me wonder if people in that building know anything about what's going on in a warehouse for Amazon, because chances are they're probably kind of you're pretty shielded from that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're shielded from the standpoint of, you know, it keeps you focused on your work and what you're doing. You know, everyone reads the headlines, but that doesn't come into a meeting. You know, your bosses don't talk about it. No one talks about it. It wasn't until, I don't think it became a real wide topic until, like, the New York Times wrote a piece on corporate employees. There was a few that left in more of a tech space than I was in. So definitely, you know, way stricter deadlines and this kind of thing. But it wasn't until that piece hit that, you know, HR really started this new thing about, we really want it to be, you know, employee focused, and we want everything to be, you know, happy here, but no talk. no talk of the warehouse workers. And if you brought it up, which I did, people are gonna constantly be like, yeah, rolling his eyes. Here's Justin again. Why is he talking about this? And you're like, well, why am I talking about this? They're the backbone of the company. Without them, you don't have this.
Right. It does. It is like kind of like they're all sitting in this office, like honestly, doing the easiest part of the job. I hate to say that anybody's job is easy.
Yeah, no.
But I think the hardest part of the job in
Absolutely.
that company is what those guys and women in the warehouse are doing. Loading trucks, picking and packing, driving around in the shitty cities that they're driving around in, dropping things off. I mean, we just recently got those Prime trucks in Columbus where they're just big vans that say Prime on the side of them, and they drop stuff off. I don't even know what the fuck they're for.
And we got people driving around in their rinky-dink vehicles,
I've seen
throwing
that
shit
too.
off at like 8:30 at night. Someone running up to your door real quick, and then you scurrying away, and you're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Yep, I've seen that too. I've seen those people driving like a Mazda full of boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like they don't want you. I mean, probably the lowest in the contract. They contract their janitorial
yeah.
work, right?
All of
and
it.
they contract all their security.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
there's
yeah.
nobody working in that building that works for Amazon
Right.
that's making a shitty wage that's getting fucked. What was were your hours
Yeah.
pretty? I mean, you said that they compensated you for working long hours. Was that kind of the truth across the board, or were a lot of people working a lot of hours?
No. And that's the thing, right? It all becomes on, whether or not you have a boss that advocates for you, or that even more so, you advocate for yourself. I found a lot of people that when they stood up for themselves, they could push back on that, but a lot of people just kind of take it. They take it based on the quote unquote big wage, so they just kind of roll over. But it's funny you talked about the contractors. Do you guys mind if I do a little bit of bottom up, kind of how this whole caste system works and how they tier everything? Is that cool?
No, that's great. Yeah, we love to hear that.
Yeah. So there's 3 color badges you can have at Amazon corporate. You can have a yellow. You're a vendor. So yeah, the security guards had a yellow badge. Janitorial staff had a yellow badge. You could be a contractor, so you'd have a green badge, and then you did get to set your own wage, but at the same time there was no benefits involved in that at all. And then there's blue badge, and blue badge is you are a full corporate Amazon, corporate employee. You're an FTE. You're locked in. I came in as a yellow. So the way that I do this whole lineup to let people see what this looks like money wise is by lining it up from how I originally started as a yellow. And when I was a yellow, that means somebody else other than Amazon cuts my check. Amazon just has something in agreement with that company to pay me to do a job. And I did my same exact video producer job as a yellow. And I got paid, it was like $42,500 a year that this other company was paying me to do a job.
Right.
Well, Amazon looked at our team. They said that we like this work that you're doing. We're going to cut out this vendor, and we're just going to take you. So from that, once that's like going blue. So if you look at blue is tiered numerically, and this is where it gets real creepy Scientology kind of thing. So your 1s and your 2s, those are going to be full-time employees but work in a warehouse. Your 3 is going to be the first tier that you can be at corporate. These are going to be an hourly employee. There's no stock bonuses. There's no signing bonus, none of that. And you're going to be hourly, probably somewhere between $25 and $28 an hour. Your 4 is where it's going to start with, now you're a salary or hourly, kind of depending on your role. We're going to pay you more into the 70s. You're going to get a signing bonus of about $24,500, and you're going to get some stock thrown your way. And from there, it just keeps going up. So you got 5, 6, 7, 8. There is no 9. Someone there hates numerology and is definitely afraid of the number 9.
Weird.
10 is like the executives, and then Jeff's the only 12 because, well, he's got 3 balls. So
He's at 12.
that's
Jeff
where
is
he's
Jeff is the only 12 in the company.
Fuck 12.
That is fucking
he does that,
weird.
He does that for himself.
That's like a god. That is the
super weird.
weirdest god thing I've ever heard. That's weird, right? That there's one guy that's
No,
a
man,
12?
that's
It's
boss
super
maneuver.
creepy.
That's
Yeah.
That is a
that's
boss
like Ric
maneuver.
Flair
It
shit.
is definitely weird.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
So I got 2 offers. So you remember, I'm doing the same job. My badge is changing color, and I came in at a 5. So that means they gave me, now, like I said, I'm going from $42,500. Now I get blue. They hand me the offer. It's $98,000 a year. $23,000, well, $23,400 in signing bonus, which is structured how they structure it, and then shares of stock. Now, again, I'm doing the same job. So you're already looking at these badge systems as a caste system to where you're like, but just because somebody else paid me and did my check coming through. So now you see the jump that when you go to blue, and this is that ultimate disparity between where our warehouse workers sat, which is grossly underpaid, horrible treatment, horrendous conditions, to, what that looks like. And that's one of the things I like to shine the light on the most, is because they could pay everyone like this. They don't, though. They build this system, this tiered system, this caste system, that allows them to deem worth based on, an algorithm that probably makes no human sense.
How
because,
is it?
Again, I agreed to do a job for $42,000 that then they switched over when I just changed the badge color.
Nice. I mean, that's nice for you, though. That's cool. So they just,
Well, yeah. You say that, I don't work there anymore, but
So they just, is it kind of just they call you into an office and say you moved up?
I mean, that was our whole team. Our boss called them and called us all in and said, hey, our old company that, we've worked for is Yellows. Amazon bought them out. They want to absorb our whole team. We're going to come in. We're going to do this, and we're all going blue. And then everything worked individually. And when I say that, I mean they really do pick and choose who they separate out in the system, because when our team moved, my boss came in as a 5. I came in as a 5. Everybody else on the team came in as a 4. And the only answer I could ever give was, you interviewed really well. And it's like, but again, I already have this job. Like, this is the weirdest shit to me, is that I interviewed well. All I did was come in and say what I did every day. Like, this is what I do every day.
Yeah.
And then later, it wasn't until it was later told to me that it's like, well, that was, we had to show, the team that we were willing to, like, throw this kind of thing at somebody so that they'd all work harder, which is a weird psychological thing that obviously I didn't even want on my shoulders. Like, nobody wants that.
Yeah,
that's the bellwether now, and that's weird. I didn't
Right,
know
that's
that. I came
shitty,
from
yeah.
Lids, God damn it.
They're telling you to build loyalty. Like, is it basically like they spend all their time in that main office building loyalty, but they don't give a shit about the people that are outside of that office? It's got to be fairly easy to ignore those people if they're not there.
Abercrombie was the same exact way, because it was odd though, because our warehouse was on the same site as the campus, but the warehouse was kept separate. Like, we had a different cafeteria. They fed us gruel, and they got like sushi and shit at headquarters. It was, and they and there was a total, like, disruption. Like, those people were gods and goddesses. And if they ever graced us with their presence, it was a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
And if we ever got to go take a peek of what was going on over at headquarters, we were supposed to be fucking grateful.
Yeah, when I worked at Bath and Body Works warehouse, I used to have to walk through what looked like a spa, basically. It was like this really well put together place. You walk through, people are dressed nice, everything's
Everybody's
good.
wearing fucking linen there.
Yeah, you walk through one door and it's like, oh, we're in a warehouse now. It's me and fucking 250 Lonnies just hanging out, being idiots.
They got Wolfgang Puck pizza in their cafeteria.
Oh, okay, Bill Maher.
I mean, they make you walk through first class on an airplane, like, look at what you're missing, or look at what you should strive for, this dangling of this carrot. When, if they're hoarding any kind of wealth, like somebody like Jeff, you got to know that you have to push people down, and a lot of people down, in order to get there. And the only thing that can keep them going is this hope that they can get there too, and Yeah, it's gross. You know, it's gross to where, you know, I never want to sound like I wasn't grateful that I was given opportunity to be creative in a space that, you know, this is something I went to school for. It's something you know, I lost a wife trying to like fight for this dream, you know, and to have it come, but then be this gross, you know, was just one of those things that it's, you know, it's disheartening because you're like, how do you really chase dreams if you're principled? Because you're not gonna survive in this long, you know. And that loyalty that they might try to get you to strive for to stay at that corporate level is thrown out the window when somebody wants any kind of promotion, you know. So what happened to my team, and the reason I'm not there anymore, is we were in a wrong org. We needed to kind of switch and shop around and try to find a new organization within corporate that might foster some creative growth or whatever shit we were looking for. And we found a new team. They absorbed us. My boss finally was like, you know what, this is, you know, I'll always go to bat for my boss. You know, he doesn't seem like he was cut from that cloth and that he's been fighting upstream still, you know, against it since. But he did the one thing that he thought he should have done, right? We're in a better org. This is the home that we're supposed to be in. Half my team definitely deserves promotions today. So I'm going to give them promotions today.
Right.
So he did that. He brought up half the team from 4 to 5. You know, the mood was great. We were going to go in a better direction. And then all of a sudden, that level 8 person that kind of absorbed us in came to him and said, well, why did you do that? You don't get any 5. So that means me and all the people he just promoted were now gone.
Oh shit!
Because you didn't get senior people. You know, so where's that loyalty? This was 2 months before my, you know, stock vestment. Where's that promissory? You know, like, where is this loyalty? And I just had a drink with my boss last week, and he was like, yeah, no, that guy's now gone. Like, he was doing all of that to get, you know, to make himself look good, get his promotion, didn't get the promotion, and poached off to another company. You know, so half the team gone. You've got 15 people now in the workforce, you know, looking for jobs. And, you know, this guy was
15 people that were making 15 people that were making $75,000 or whatever dollars a year, having to find another job to, I mean, it's like that kind of thing where you have this job that pays decent and then you're gone and it's like, well, who knows if I'm ever going to make this fucking kind of money again, you know?
Right.
Yeah. I had this when I was 23 years old.
Yeah. I'm 37 years old. I've been trying for one thing my whole life. It wasn't until the almost third year mark at Amazon, I allowed myself to do something I'd never done in my life, buy a new car. Now that car is like a handcuff. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't even go crazy. I bought a Subaru, like, and I didn't even buy a fast one. You know, I bought my first new car to feel what that was like, and now that's a handcuff because one guy was like, you know what? I'm going to look good on paper by making this quote-unquote smart business decision. It's going to get 15 people axed tomorrow, but I'll be fine. And he went off to just another software company, you know, like he, just the next day, you know, like no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like just a series of these decisions for people that are trying to come up. Like, I know how we can save money.
Yeah, and get rid of them.
Yeah, saving money is all. I mean, they never look at any other way to save money other than through labor costs. It seems like it's like where can we cut costs? It's like there's probably a million things they could do.
Yeah.
But instead they're just like fire about like 15 people making some money and then boom, we got all that money. Then we get to have all that money, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I hope you
exactly. You know, and I looked at it as like, it's also, we were all the same time. So that's 15 people that were about to vet, you know, so that's also some savings because they severance us, but what is severance? A month's worth of pay? You know, it buys you one extra month until you start to feel like you're drowning.
Right.
You know,
I never know what severance.
Yeah, those stock vestments, that's a year's worth of pay, you know? So,
right, and they got you right before? You know, they got you right before that?
2 months, yep.
Yeah, I mean that kind of shit makes me nuts. When I was talking to Brace on the show me and him just did, and he was talking about how 30 hours is full time at Anchor, and he works 29 a week, and it's like come on. Like, let's cut the fucking shit with this kind of thing. Firing people 2 months before their stock vestment, cutting people down to 29 hours a week. Like, it's such a inhumane way to treat people. They just end up, like, it's like, why am I working? They get you in there and they tell you, you are working for this thing. You're here to work to meet this goal, and you're going to get this goal. This is a great benefit. You might turn down a job that pays more because you've deferred for the future this goal of having Amazon stock. Right. And then they fucking cut your fucking head off 2 months before you're about to go, and you're just like, well, now I have nothing. You know, and that's such a trick they pull. I worked for a place that was 30 hours a week was full time, and you had to, if you dipped under 30 hours a week 4 weeks in a row, you lost your health insurance and went down to part time, and they would force you.
Yeah, all your benefits gone.
Yeah, and they would force you to log off of the account if it was off of your computer, if it wasn't busy. So as a call center, you would log off, and they would be like, and then every 4 weeks or so, you get a thing like, well, you worked under 30 hours for the past 3 weeks in a row. If you do under 30 hours this week, then you lose your benefits. But they were forcing you to work under 30 hours a week. I mean, nobody out there is trying to work under 30 hours a week if they're not getting paid for. You know, like they want their paid time, you know, so that's just such a fucked up thing that goes on out there.
Yeah. And the moral of this is they can pay, you know, like I really think it should be looked at opposite in terms of like, we all have, you know, I got to experience it for a brief amount of time. We've all had a friend that gets to experience it, right? That job they actually want, at least in a field, maybe not the company, but at least in a field they want, and they're paid well to do it. And instead of, it's always like, good for that person, like good for that girl, good for that guy. Instead, it's like, we could all do this. Amazon has the money to do this. But this system, they have to keep going. They have, you know, this is that carrot they have to dangle for each part in each tier in their caste system to get everyone to try to give that little bit of extra, you know. When I was there, we'd go to the all hands meetings, which were also really weird. But anyway, our finance director would come out and talk about how AWS every quarter turning another $40 billion in profit. The hell's that going?
That's Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, it goes to 12. Being reported as pure profit, like.
Here's the number 12.
And you're telling me you can't pay workers? Sorry.
Yeah, it goes to number 12. That's who gets it.
Well, thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Oh, thank you, man. Have a good night. Yeah, I hate fucking Amazon.
I would have gave him a longer goodbye. I didn't mean I was trying to like kick him off the fucking phone.
You're just the guy that kicks people off the phone like a jerk.
That's me.
Mr. kicks him off the phone. I think our cord's a little wonky over there.
Is it?
Maybe. It might just be me.
It's doing
It gets crackly now and then, but I think we're okay.
I don't ever heard no crackles. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Oh, jeez.
Hello.
Hello. Hey. We hear you. You're on. Hello? Can you hear us? Yeah. I think you're cutting out there. Yeah, we're here.
Hi. This is Slater calling.
Who is this?
It's hard to hear.
Slater calling.
It's Eric?
It's not a real name, obviously. No, sorry.
Is it Terry?
I think the audio is really bad.
Yeah, it seems.
Sorry.
No, not a problem. Did you hang
sorry
up?
about that one. That was not going to work.
Yeah, it probably would have been hard to understand.
Yeah, I didn't understand a word of that. I didn't know if I was like hallucinating or if that was just really bad sound.
We can call back.
Let's see who's next here. See if it's a little bit better. Hello. Howdy.
Hello?
Hey, what's up? How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
We're feeling fucking great. Who is this?
This is Chi.
What's up, Chi? How are you tonight? We know Chi.
The
drug scientist. He's the drug
Yeah,
scientist. How's the
haven't
drug
called in in
science?
it feels like months, but
It has. You called in
Doing
the
all right.
old. You're a relic of the old studio. Now you're calling to the basement. So, how's the drug science world going, Chi? Chi?
oh shit, sorry, breaking up. Can you hear me?
Oh, how's drug science going? How's the world of drug science going?
It's good, man. I'm working a lot. Been like 75 hours the past 3 weeks.
Oh God.
Getting paid for it though?
Actually, just got off work and what's that?
You being paid well for this 75 hours every 2 weeks? Or week? Is a week, right?
Yeah, a hell of a lot better than I was before.
Hell yeah,
Into that.
hell yeah. Are you allowed to give people high fives at this job?
What's up?
Are you allowed to give people high fives at this job?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then
Fist
that's a
bumps and high
bonus.
fives are encouraged.
Okay.
Oh wow.
There we go.
Progressive company.
You've moved up in the world to a company that will allow you to give a high five. So what's up tonight, Chi?
Not too much. I got a work story kind of from a different perspective. A work question, I'll say.
Well, we prefer answering questions actually. So let's get this question going.
So basically, when I took this job, in the beginning, I was very adamant that, like, hey, I can't be the person in charge of the lab because I don't have that level of experience. I'll come in and I'll set everything up and do everything I can, but, like, I'm not that person. But we brought in another guy from California, and he's real cool, which is great. But they were going to give him the title of Chief Scientific Officer, and they were like, hey, we need somebody to be the lab director. With his help, do you think you can do it? Because, you've helped us build this out, and we want to give you that position. I was like, all right, like, I think I can handle it with this guy's help and everything, and I think we'll make it through. So now I'm, like, kind of in the lab,
You're what now?
which is cool for the most part. But I get to make, like, I tried to build a really, like, egalitarian workplace, and I talked to some street fighters about it in the beginning because I was feeling kind of guilty about being a boss. But, like, for the most part, I've really tried to make it, like, not a shitty place to work for people.
Okay.
And, I think I'm doing okay with that, and it's going well.
I would like to throw this out there.
But,
I would like to throw this out there real quick. More Street Fighter bosses wouldn't be like the worst thing in the world. I don't know that it's something that people should be like. Do you think it's something people should be feeling guilty taking? Because that position exists and is going to exist.
Yeah.
That position could go to somebody else, but it went to somebody who has the types of principles that we have.
Yeah, you might as well wield it the best you can.
Yeah. I mean, but then again, it's like, for Chi's side, it's like, you start thinking about shit like, okay, I don't control everything. What if they tell me to fire somebody that I really like and
Yeah.
I don't own the place and now I
Sure.
gotta sit this person down and fucking fire them? I can see why you don't want to take it. I talk to my wife a lot about her job, and she's oftentimes been told to apply for management and lead positions, but she doesn't. It sounds like you have the same thing she does, where it's like, I don't think I have the skills to do that. I can't do that. I'm just my wife always says like I'm just a worker bee. I just like I don't. She
Right.
is too. She just like Brett
Tasks.
she works for us, right? And Brett was like, do you think I don't want to overwork her, and I was like, her favorite thing in the world to do is work. Like, there's nothing drinking and working. Those are the only two things she likes to do. And like, there are some people that just feel more comfortable working, but I do think I get a lot of messages. At least personally, I get messages on Twitter, and I see on the Street Fighters Facebook group oftentimes, or anywhere where people that listen to the show gather. I see people guilty about their jobs a lot. And I don't want to foster that kind of community. I mean, if you're a cop and you're listening to this show, I want you to feel bad about your job. But I don't want people that are just doing things to make money. Like I don't think it was a net positive that I worked for a cable. Do you think I mean, does anybody really think that I made a positive impact on the world while I was working for the cable company. You know, most of the time I was fixing people's TV so they can ignore their kids and watch Fox News. So I'm just saying, don't ever, if you're out there, because I do have people say like, well, you know, I've been asked to take this job that is a manager of whatever this place I'm working at, and I just don't know if I feel right about it, and I just wanted to see what your thoughts are. And my thoughts are, I mean, look, I want to take this whole thing down, and let me do that. Let us try to handle that stuff, and there's going to be people that do that. But if we're going to have management positions in this world, then I would rather our people hold those positions. And hopefully, again, try to make it egalitarian. I know that your hands are tied with a lot of things, but I would never ask one of our listeners to feel guilty about what they're doing unless they're a cop. Then I want them to feel guilty about what they're doing.
And yeah, you know, like, that's sort of why I'm working so much. Like, I was there from like 9 in the morning to 3 the next morning on Friday, so I could let everyone else go home. Because like, if they're gonna, you know, give me the position and a raise and everything to take that, like, I sort of take it upon myself to then be a buffer between like the worst of the shit and the people who listen to me on a daily basis. Like, I don't know. I try to not be shitty. You know, I don't know.
Like, that makes it like a lot of sense also to like, I am the person that stands between these people and like, if you think of yourself as the person that stands between the worst of the corporate culture and the regular employees, that's not a bad position. I mean, it's not like you're having fun doing that, you know? Of course you make more money, and like, you wish that this whole thing was spread out and that everybody could have what you have. And like, who knows what kind of things you're going to be able to do in the future once you've been in this position for a long time. Like, staying...
I know, director's a good role to have.
Yeah.
Especially at your age, that's crazy.
Yeah, staying in a low position because you feel guilty isn't gonna help anybody at all. And you know, you're lucky you took it, because what if they had hired somebody from outside who was a dickhead, who was like an efficiency person, you know, who was gonna make everybody feel bad.
And I've been able to get people like really generous raises and stuff, which I feel really good about, and I'm glad that like the corporate people do kind of listen to me on that sort of stuff, and I can be. They're actually not bad themselves. They're shockingly willing to pay people well and treat people with some modicum of dignity, which is just so far away from the universe I was in before. So most of the time I feel good about most of that stuff.
Cool.
Cool. But I do have one slight issue. It's kind of coming to you guys about, which is we have this guy who's been there from the very, very early days. He was when I had just started out and we were looking for new people. I helped find him and brought him on board. And he's done a lot of really, really good work with the company. He knows regulations and guidelines and rules for like how to make your laboratory compliant with X, Y, and Z, like super, super well. And has really been an asset and really helpful to have around. And I really do appreciate all he's done. And he's also pulled some really long nights, and like he'll stick around until 11 o'clock by himself and just crank out paperwork and things, which are things that I'm not good at all. I hate fucking paperwork. But recently, he's stopped like participating in the day-to-day stuff at work, and it's really starting to grate on some of his fellow coworkers. Because, you know, they're in there doing bench work and just grinding through stuff that needs to get done on the day-to-day. And this guy, like, everyone kind of sees him just sitting on his computer, like, browsing Reddit and stuff. And I've been very hands-off with stuff and kind of just tried to encourage him to, you know, help out and make sure that people know that they can kind of try to tag in and get people to come help them with stuff. But I don't want to have to turn it into a thing of like, hey, you have to do this, because I don't know, like people know what needs to get done, and I like to just let people, give people that amount of respect to let people just get the jobs done that need to be done and all that stuff. But now, like when I have kind of directly asking to go help with stuff, it's like 5 minutes of it and then back to not helping out. And the one thing I can't stand is when other people who are, you know, technically like lower level are getting asked to stay late and do extra work and hold things together because other people aren't helping.
Man, I tell you what, if you're doing a job, you're all doing it together, and you have to pull your own weight. You know, some people are better at other things than other people, and some people probably do bigger pieces of the pie or whatever it is. But if you're just sitting around on the computer the whole time while other people are working, man, you have an obligation to do something. Like, it's neat to talk about like going into work and not doing anything at all, but I mean, eventually the company's just gonna fucking fire you for that.
Is there like is it? I mean, this definitely sounds like something that could be solved with a conversation, unless he's one of those guys that's like, I've fucking been here longer than anybody. Like, is that what do you think? Like, I think you could maybe have a conversation with the person. I know that, like, it's the thing about a conversation, right, is that I've never been a boss, okay? I've never been a director. I've never delegated responsibility or anything like that. You know, I don't even do that here. This is fucking my business. But, like, it's part my business, you know? But I know how it... I think one thing that you go into when you have this conversation is you understand that this guy's going to take this as a confrontation. We're like going... He's going to take this probably the least charitable way possible, I would guess. That's how I am, and I think a lot of people are like that, because I have talked to people in the past who have had what I feel to be very benign conversations with a person that's above them at a company, and thrown a fucking temper tantrum about it. It's like, you know, this person said, I think you need to, like, let's just go role play this, for example, where it's like, hey, buddy, you know, I know you work really hard, and I know that you do stuff that nobody else wants to do, but they need to, this is also a team, and we all need to see that everybody's doing the same work. And a lot of people see that you're not working when they're working very hard. Like, let's say that's the conversation you have, and then later on that person goes home to their partner and they're like, this fucking motherfucker.
Yeah.
But it's like,
but that's not in the office.
That's not, and that's also not his fault. That's not your fault, G. It's like, that's just the way. It sucks that that's the office culture, I think, is what I'm trying to say. Like, the culture in the United States, our office culture is that we're convinced that it is Game of Thrones in our office. And, but this does seem like something like, if somebody sat me down and had a conversation with me and said, look, dude, I am trying to be as cool as possible about everything. But when other people are working and you're on Reddit, that's like, it's making other people, it's making other people uncomfortable. Yeah. Now I'm just pawning it off.
And now people have come to me and been like, hey, is he going to help out? And I'm like, fuck, like, I'll ask him to kind of help out, and then somehow a few minutes later he drifts back into his spot and gets back on Reddit. And it's like, a part of me respects the sitting at work and browsing Reddit shit.
Well, he's kind of fucking you over, though.
I've done that myself.
I will say that, if this is a company that you feel is treating you well, and is probably, and you know how other people are being treated, if this is a place that's fair, I don't understand it. I don't understand letting everybody else pick up the slack and visibly not doing anything. Well, and I've been in situations with other workers who have done this, and it's not cool. It's like, it's not cool, and it's like, we talk about it on this show, but there's solidarity in the workplace too. Like, it's not just like, if everybody was like, we're all gonna surf Reddit and bring this place to a stop, that's perfect. That's great. That's the kind of action me and Brett would say. But I would never say, everybody is going to have to pick up this other person's slack because they're fucking around. Like, I never had the belief, I never in my life at a job, as much as I fucked around, never wanted what I do to result in more work for my fellow workers. You know what I mean? And I always worked very hard to make sure that what I was doing didn't mean more work for another person.
Sure.
So what he's doing is like, I mean, in like if we were doing kayfabe for the show, yeah, that's cool. It's funny. He's fucking around. He's stealing money from the boss. But the truth is, he's also, he's kind of stealing time from other people. You're working 75 hours a week.
Yeah.
Who knows what these other people, I don't know what the other people are working, but they're all busy during the day and this guy's not doing anything. Like, that's very not cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, I mean, I think it sounds like if you have a conversation with this guy, I as long as he doesn't take it the wrong way and you are a guy that, I mean, you listen to us talk, just talk to this guy like a person, like a regular ass person in plain ass language. Like, we see what you're doing on your computer, because you know what the alternative really is, right? And I've seen this happen at a lot of jobs that I have. The alternative is some overarching rule that you make that everybody else has to abide by because this one person's fucking around, you know? That's the way most bosses deal with it, and that's why we hate most bosses, because that's what you would do. You would say, you're not allowed to be on Reddit.
Right, we're
anymore.
gonna monitor computer time now.
Yeah, because this one guy's doing it, and you're just trying to like do it in the most low impact possible way that you can make this happen. And I really think a conversation. You're a cool guy. I met you. I mean, you're kind of like ripped, so the guy might be like, this guy's a real jerk, but like because he's ripped. You know how ripped guys are jerks.
Yeah, it's intimidating.
Yeah, he's kind of ripped and everything, but I think he's like ripped and good looking. So that's kind of a strike against him. But I think you're a personable guy, so I think if you talk to him, everything will be okay.
Will it?
Yeah, I think
What do you
I think
think,
I kind of
Greg?
know like what we have to do and everything. I just, I don't want to become the boss who does shit like,
Don't do it.
put
Just
a whole
don't.
ban on people doing things and whatever. Because I genuinely don't care if everybody's getting their work done. Like, you want to browse your Facebook? I fucking check the Street Fighter.
Yeah, but he's breaking that rule, though.
At work, like. I got lots of other stuff to do, but I don't care if it takes 5 minutes or whatever. But it's
Brett
become much more than 5 minutes. And
Brett just made a really great point, though, that he's breaking that rule. He's breaking that contract. That he's not doing the part where he's doing the work. You know, he's not getting the work done. He's he's fucking around and also not getting the work done.
Yeah, I've had plenty of I don't give a fuck about what you do as long as you get the work done jobs. And they're great because I get the stuff done. But like when the stuff doesn't get done, they're like, why do I need you around then?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. I think you have a conversation, and I would love to hear how it turns out. If you call in next week or something like that, or before we go to tour, I'd love to hear how it turns out, because I mean, it's going to be uncomfortable, obviously, but he has to know he's fucking around. I just picture him calling like his version of Street Fight and being like, dog, I'm sitting on Reddit all fucking day.
Yeah. I got a gold account while I was on the clock.
My boss is too afraid to say anything to me because he's like a cool,
he's like
egalitarian guy.
He's so ripped, but he doesn't want to show it off, and like his handsomeness, he just works against him.
These ripped, handsome guys, they're so afraid of confrontation. Thanks for calling, Chi. We love you.
yeah, thanks for taking the call, guys. Have a good night.
If we ever get a Hunks of Street Fight like calendar, Chi's gonna be
in there.
it. Oh my God, Chi, you.
He'll warm up those winter months.
You and Chi, and then
Every other month.
That's probably what we'll need, right? Jason, he's looking good these days.
Okay.
Jason's getting down there.
Okay.
Marvin will be in there. I don't know if Marvin wants to be called a hunk because they're non-binary.
Right,
but
right.
Marvin also is a Steve Orange.
Okay.
Like, I
good
want them
choice.
all with their shirts off, wearing a hard hat, obviously.
Okay. I like this.
Hunks
All
of
hard
Street
heads?
Fight. Well,
No lumberjacks or anything?
maybe we let them pick.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I'm putting you in a fireman's hat, though, because you have all the tattoos and stuff. You get the fireman's hat,
yeah.
and you get the fireman's pants,
Yeah.
but with the bibs
Yep,
and no
with-
shirt under
yeah.
them and a big axe in your hand.
Ring the alarm.
Coming soon to the Street Fight store.
Yep.
Hunks of Street Fight.
I love it.
She really is a hunk, though, for all you
I know.
for all you
Yeah.
ladies and men and non-binary people out there. Chi, when he calls in, all I picture is this hunk that showed up at our live show in July. Like, Jeezy Pete.
He
man.
looks like he does that tantric sex shit. He does that like 64 hours of sex shit.
he does.
Like that dude is jizzed for 180 minutes before.
He's just handsome. I took a walk with him, so
Yeah.
sweet guy. He's a sweet guy. He's a handsome dude.
Yeah, let's see who our next caller is. Maybe
Maybe there'll be a hunk.
Maybe he'll be another tantric sex person. Hello, thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Hey, fellas, how's it going?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. This is Caleb, the Raptor guy.
Hey, Caleb.
Oh, yeah, this guy too.
Yeah, he's okay. He does well for himself.
Yeah.
You know? Thin. He's thin. He's a thin hunk. But
He
he's
has a
okay.
good mustache for riding. Too.
long hair, too.
He has a
Long
great
hair.
mustache for riding, and yeah.
Caleb, you're a good looking fella. Maybe have you audition. Like, we'll get him with his shirt off, holding a bird. Like, he'll have, like, a hawk in his hand, like, on a thing. He'll have a hawk on one of those, he'll hold up a thing with a perch, with a bird on it, with no shirt on and a pair of pants.
Just in jeans. Cut off denim shorts. With the pockets hanging below the cutoff.
Coming in the
Yeah,
2020 zines, there's going to be a Hunks of Street Fight calendar. We're going to make this happen. What's going on, Caleb?
Not too much, guys. I just wanted to call in, touch base. I haven't called it in for a while, but yeah, I'm still out in Delaware working on a job that I've been doing field work for a while now, and I didn't think that like my dollars per hour could like get worse because
Caleb's got
right. So-
Caleb's got historically bad dollars per hour on this show. Didn't I may mistake you for somebody else, but were you like on like the first call-in show a guy that that lived on a boat? He didn't live on a boat?
Guy on about the longshore. I remember listening to the guy who was like the aspirational longshoreman before me, like the first or second time I called in. Because I called in like the first time I called in was like right in 2017, I believe. And I'm pretty sure you guys had just started doing this part of the show.
Okay. You're not a boat guy though. You live in a car, maybe?
What was that?
Did you live in a car? I just know that your
Yep,
dollars
yep.
per hour were never great. So what's your dollars per hour issue now?
All right, so dollar per hour issue right now. What's sawing the dick off is I work. I don't know for sure. Our day to day it changes every day because we got to trap the birds and we got to do our best to be ready for the birds when they decide to show up on our bait. That kind of stuff. We're trapping turkey, and turkey are extremely smart birds. The saying about turkey is that they're really stupid until you try to catch them or hunt them. And we're trying to catch them. So the turkey are currently very smart. They're very hard to catch, and they are not predictable. So that just means a lot of worked hours, blah, blah, blah. But one of the things about this show that I definitely learned listening to throughout the years is that, salary is a scam because when you're paid by salary, that means your wages are fixed no matter how much you work on the in-between. So, fuck it. I'll just throw out whole numbers right now. I am paid $570 every 2 weeks. And
Jesus fucking Christ!
Wow.
Also, yeah, it's not a lot. And but I'm not paying rent, so I'll bump that up. Like, say I have to say rent in the place where I'm living actually costs $400 a month. I'm actually getting paid $670 every 2 weeks or so, like when you actually, round it all out or whatever. But that's not the pay is whatever. The part that saws my dick off is that I have to, and this is like a rule that I'm laid out. I have to say that I'm working 30 hours a week, and that is not true.
You can't lie?
Oh, shit.
They want you to
30
say
hours
you
a
work
week.
30
So-
every week?
Yeah, so I say I work 30 hours a week, and I actually work closer to like 65.
Oh, God.
So because like I'm staying up late tonight because it's like, okay, if I'm third in line, I'll stay on the line, and I was. Whew. But so I'm out on the East Coast with you guys now. I'm east of you guys, and yeah, so I'm saying I've worked roughly 60-ish, 65 hours a week, and I was like two SoCos in, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do the math on like my per hour wage, and it's like, so you take $570 divided by 2 per week, and that's like $230, and then you divide that by 60, and that ends up being around $4.30 an hour.
You're making less. You are making less than I made on my first job. My very first job at McDonald's, I started out at $4.50 an hour in 1995.
Right, and so with the ridiculous circumstances of this job, I've actually had a decent amount of luck, just like not being too because I have coworkers, and I've been doing this a little bit longer than everybody else on my crew. I'm just like a wayward bird cowboy, but the people on my crew, they're somewhat receptive when I tell them that it's like, look, our boss's boss is currently a professor with tenure, and this guy probably made $450-ish every 2 weeks back in like 1980. Like I can't say that for sure, but if I had to guess, like the Gen Xers who are currently employing us were only making like 30% less than what we're making now, but the cost of living now is like 70% higher
skyrocketed,
than it was
yeah.
when they were our age.
Well,
If you're following me?
I hate how these academic, like these research positions pay so little. Like these are people that are supposed to, I think, know better, I guess, than to pay that little amount of money and getting screwed. I mean, I guess a tenured professor is making like $450,000, a year. Actually, no. I know that to start out, a tenured professor position at Ohio State is, I think, $250,000 a year. I'm almost positive because I looked at I looked at how much they made, and then I realized I would never get tenure, and that it was probably just easier to be a podcaster than to be a professor.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm glad you're a podcaster because this show fucking rules. But
Oh, thank you.
On that note, hey, no problem. Because on that note, the best, like the content is amazing. This part of the show where people are allowed to call in and give their stories about why their job sucks. It's like, so I'm out on the East Coast right now, and I've definitely been like taking advantage of the fact that I live near a lot of other street fighters right now, which is awesome. I've been hanging out with Dakota in New Brunswick, Thomas in Edison, Yusra and Michelle in Jersey City, and, a couple of others like Leland and Bill when I've gotten to go to the city, like New York
Nice.
frickin' city.
You're not going to be there when we're there, are you, Caleb?
No, I'm not. That's the part, and that's what I was about to say, is that I unfortunately am leaving, like, I'm going all the way to fucking Oregon, like, 50 hours of driving, and I've given myself a week to do it, and I'm going to be trapping ravens and sage grouse in Oregon this summer, like
Tight.
in the middle of nowhere.
Raven's the cool
Yeah,
bird.
That's a
though.
good one to
Yeah.
be the
Oh, yeah,
master
Ravens
of.
are so
Goth
Master
bird.
of ravens.
Yeah, like that's the whole reason why I took the job, because I'm trapping you know, it's okay. So last thing I'll talk about, because I gotta go to bed. I gotta be up at 4:30 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Oh my
But,
Chasing
God,
fucking
dude.
turkeys at
Last thing
4:30 in the morning, just running around
yeah.
with a big net
Yep.
chasing turkeys all day.
Yeah.
My wife
that's what
calls
I'm
me a
doing.
turkey
But-
to say that I'm stupid, by the way. That's probably not a good insult now.
Yeah, I call my kid a turkey too.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big word in our little circle of friends because my wife likes to call people a turkey. Oh, you're a real turkey. And you're like, all right. Fucking calm down. I'm not a turkey. I'm a human.
Well, so yeah, I'm gonna be in Oregon this summer trapping ravens, and I got to be there like on April 1st. Hard, like that's a hard April 1st. But so it's just weird. Like I have a problem that I don't think many other millennials will be able to relate to, in that I can't swat down the job offers fast enough, because this year, so I was reading a book about the history of cowboy labor, and there was this whole part in the book about how every single year there was a giant roundup that took place in these ranch towns, like down in Texas and Kansas and Oklahoma and all of these places. And all of these cowboys from around the country would go to these towns to get, you know, hooked up with their respective ranch owners where they were going to end up working for the entire summer. I'm
Okay.
reading this book, and I'm realizing that it's like, holy shit, like this is basically like what I'm doing, but instead of like a town, it's a job board that's online. And so
Right.
there's a bunch of jobs that I applied to. I didn't even apply to that many jobs. Like 3 years ago, I probably applied to like 25 jobs and got maybe 10 interview requests, and then maybe two or three job offers. But this year, I was picky with it because I was like, I'm working a lot. I don't have that much time, and I applied to like 10 jobs and got like 10 job offers. And it's all for like a bunch of other jobs that are like this one that don't pay that much. But
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
would say it's easy to
I-
get jobs that only pay $4 an hour, I think.
Easier, okay?
Easier.
Yeah,
Chasing birds for $4 an hour seems
Yeah.
like a job that they're probably trying to find people.
Well,
Well,
he would
going
be-
to chase you down.
Yeah.
He would be doing it otherwise, so I think him getting paid for it is
I like
what's
it.
the benefit.
I like it. Well, Caleb,
Yeah.
I will tell you this, and I can't say this with 100% certainty, but me and Brett will probably be back out west by the end of the year. I'm sure. It was too fun. You know what I mean? It was too fun,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it
oh,
makes
yeah.
it's
West
able to
West,
make
baby.
sense. So we'll figure it out. We'll see. You'll see us live someday. I promise. Maybe.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried about it. I know it's going to happen. Right, because I'm going to be in Oregon, then Idaho, basically for the rest of the year.
All right, we're not going to do
And I
Idaho
should-
probably this year.
Can't make that promise.
Yeah.
Can't make an Idaho promise, but I know that we both like the West Coast so
Right.
much that I can see us being like, hey, we got to make it back out
Going
there.
there 1.5 times a year.
Yeah. Well, hey, you have a great night, Caleb.
Yep, you guys too. Thanks.
He was reading a cowboy book.
Yeah, he's into it.
I love cowboys, dude. You know I love cowboys.
Yeah,
I
you
see
need to
myself
go-
as a cowboy.
You can go wrangle up some birds, man.
I should go fucking get one of them cowboy jobs
Yeah?
for just a month or two.
Okay.
Is like when he talked about that city that's like one roundup a year. I'd love to be involved in
Here.
a roundup.
Here's the actual way that would get it done. Call it Cowboy Fit. And
Yeah.
then just set up a working farm and like livestock thing. Have a bunch of people come in and work the farm and train shit, you know.
Do you think the listeners would be mad if I took like 2 months off to be a part of a roundup?
No, of course not.
No, they'd be
As
like,
long as
"That-
you
this is
do
great."
some live streams.
Yeah. Oh, go do the Twitch stream at the Cowboy Roundup that I'm
Yeah.
doing?
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
listeners, let me know if you want me to get a job being a cowboy at a roundup.
This is a lot of calls in here.
Okay, well, we
It's
got another.
totally filled.
We got 90 minutes. We got 89 minutes, actually, to tell you the truth. And don't call cowboys shepherds. Cowboys are cowboys.
Hey, street. What about cowgals?
Cowgirls
Yeah.
and cowboys. I know, and cow
bees.
them.
Right.
Cow days.
Okay.
Hey, you there?
Sorry.
Cowboy?
Yeah.
Hey,
Hi.
cowpoke.
Of course, it's a woman.
It's cowpoke is what it is. That's the one.
Oh, that was perfect. Just perfect.
I know the one woman a week that calls. It's I call him a
Actually
cowboy.
Really weird timing.
It
It's
is.
really weird timing because I am the whole reason why I'm calling is because Caleb, the Raptor guy, is one of my best friends, and he convinced me to call in ages ago, and I just never got around to it until now. So
Wow.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
I thought you were gonna say the reason I called in is because I like cow. I'm a cow person.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say, I actually work a ranch, and I was going to call in and ask for information about what I,
mean,
should do.
I sort of am.
Really? I imagine
worked out
Caleb knows
weirdly.
a person that owns a ranch.
Sure. He would be helpful on a
mean-
ranch.
I don't own a ranch, but I definitely grew up with horses and, kind of an Iowa country girl. I grew up in Iowa and met Caleb in college at Iowa State University.
Yeah, I tell you what, these city people are good for nothing, aren't they? You know, us
I
country
agree.
folk just, know so much more than they do.
Yeah, us people from the middle, us country,
Us salt
people,
of the earth,
salt of the
cow
earth.
pokes. Yeah, we got our heads on straight. We're not not in a dizzy like people from the city.
Yeah. These people from the city don't understand what it's like to live in like
They don't work the land. They don't get their hands
No.
in the soil.
Me and Brett actually live in Ohio, which I don't know if you know this about Ohio. It's mainly farmland here.
Mostly
Yeah.
mostly farming. Hard labor everywhere you go.
Yeah,
It's just
we're-
hard to go anywhere. It's
It
hard
is.
to do anything. It's
It
just
is.
like a trial and tribulation to wake up in the morning.
Sometimes I wish they would actually pave streets here.
Yeah,
to tell you
yeah,
the
oh,
truth.
yeah.
It's like, what
Oh,
are they
yeah.
doing? Why is it dirt roads? Everybody else
Hey.
has them.
And
you know,
it's not fair because these kids are learning basketball on gravel, but the pros aren't playing on gravel. So it's unfair, It's not fair because they're not playing the same game.
right? And me and Brett, we're not complaining at all because we really are hard-working, salt of the earth guys. So
Oh, yeah.
we live in the country. We do country stuff.
I just usually wear bib overalls without a shirt.
Yeah, that's
like
just the
Brian
thing we
said.
do. Yeah, just the thing we do. So what's going on? What did Caleb tell you to call for?
Oh, well, he just kind of introduced me to the show, I think a little over a year ago now. So I just really dig it. I really dig your message, and I've been getting a lot more interested in like lefty politics and socialism and stuff. It's been an interesting past year. I feel like just been caring a lot more about this. About like educating myself, and it's been
Wow.
good. I just wanted to
Can I
call
ask
and
what
say
your
hi and-
Can I ask what your thing was before you started to look at lefty politics? Did you have any political beliefs, or were you kind of a person? I know that I was kind of having this. So me and Brett just went to a concert this week from a band called Thursday, and actually we were supposed to interview their lead singer, but he was sick. But there was something I wanted to talk to him about, and it was that. So they had an album called Full Collapse, and it came out April 4th, 2001. This is like pre 9/11, and it has a lot of leftist stuff in it. Like a ton of stuff in this album is like straight up leftist stuff, the types of things that we talk about on this show now. And I was like thinking back to what I was doing, and it's like, was I a conservative April 4th, 2001? No, I wasn't a conservative probably. I didn't give two shits about politics. What were you before this year? What kind of political things did you have going on before this year?
Well, I guess obviously just the whole last election I think is what kind of turned me, and witnessing Bernie versus Hillary and how it all ended up panning out. left me really disheartened and like discouraged with our political system. And I always just kind of fell into the role of just like agreeing, like, oh yeah, I'm a liberal, and like not really paying attention, you know? I feel like actually questioning the establishment, you know, has been something I've been doing a lot more just since the election, really, and since I guess since Bernie like lost the primaries, and like that was the big thing for me. So.
Right, it makes you feel. I mean, I can just tell you, I don't know what you've heard of us, or if you've heard any of our stuff about the early days of Street Fight. Me and Brett kind of turned after the 2000. Me and Brett kind of turned after the 2008 election. Right around 2011, we got really disheartened because we felt like we'd won, and it's kind of different for you because you had lost. You know, like you saw the loss and it disheartened you, but we were disheartened because we'd won, and then would be reading the news and it would be all this stuff that it's like, whoa, wait a minute, I thought we won. I thought like we were in charge, and we didn't feel that way, and it disheartened us, and it made us who we are now. So it's kind of, I'm seeing a lot of people who in 2016 followed that primary and saw, I mean, I hate to say that you got ripped off in a way, because that's the way the party operates. You know, like he didn't have a chance from the day that he started.
Yeah.
And we should have known that, first of all, and we should harden against that. I know he could win this time, right? But we should harden against kind of that thing, because it's going to be disheartening if he doesn't win this thing again. And a lot of people are going to get turned off and disheartened. And I think it's interesting that like you can take this thing, this loss, this thing that should by all rights chase you away from ever paying attention to politics again, and it takes you and it changes you in a way that then, you know, when you're a leftist, when you identify as leftist, and when you question establishment politics and things like that, you become a leftist. Your life becomes, you know, some person tells you a thing they heard on Pod Save America, and your brain is just going like, this is all bullshit, man. This whole thing is bullshit.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that happens so much now. You know, like I don't. It seems it's been so weird. It's like looking at the world through a different lens, and just kind of realizing, like, I don't know what. It felt like a very sudden thing that happened to me. Like all of a sudden, my world was flipped upside down. It's just like shit. Like, what world have I been living in this whole time? And like, I think back to my like high school days and stuff, and learning about like going to like just my American government class or whatever, like U.S. history, and like I never remember feeling horribly like shocked about how our current system works. It was just kind of like, yep, this is how things roll, and you can trust the system, that sort of thing. And it's like you actually, once you're an adult and you're actually out in the real world, it's like, holy fuck, like everything's
Right.
a lie.
I'm watching my daughter learn history and really heartened by her skepticism about the way that she's learning it. And you start to think back, though, on your time learning it, and your time as an intelligent person who knew about history and knew how the Constitution worked and how important the Constitution was. And I just cringe at myself just being like, you know, Thomas Jefferson he had slaves. He hated having slaves. It was miserable for him. He stayed up at night every night being mad because he had slaves. It was disgusting to him. And it's like, now I think about it and I'm like, well, there were like a lot of people back then that didn't have slaves.
Right. They were abolitionists too.
Yeah. It yeah. Are you going out? Have you gone to any protests or anything like that? Is there anything going on in Iowa or a DSA out there?
Oh, okay, so I don't live in Iowa anymore. I'm similar to Caleb. I have traveled a bit for work. I'm living in Chico, California now.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
what kind of
So,
livestock do you wrangle?
Sorry, what was that?
What kind of animal do you have dominion over?
I'm a fish bitch.
Oh
I
shit!
work on the river all
Yeah.
day.
Oh,
You catch
nice.
fish? You're a fish catcher?
You're a fishmonger.
That's not fishmonger.
That's the
Yeah,
seller.
I'm a fish biologist. Yep.
Oh,
That
the
is
biologist.
fucking cool. What kind of fish you chasing down?
Mainly Chinook salmon, some steelhead, and we do a little bit of green sturgeon work.
Do you ever do that? Do you ever like do that thing where they like overtake you when they're like jumping up a river and shit, and you just like get in the middle of their upstream swim?
Wait, sorry, what was that first part?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Do you ever
either.
like jump in the middle of the fish? Do you get to swim with the fish at all, or do you just like stand on the
think-
side with a clipboard?
I think he's trying to say, are you Aquaman?
Right, right.
Yes.
You want to hear what all my experience of fish? I did this to Caleb too when he called. When I told him something was a bird that wasn't really a bird.
Okay.
I wrote a report on barracudas.
Yeah,
when I was in the
loved
sixth grade.
them. Love those too.
I love those
The
little
best
ugly
fish.
motherfuckers.
They're the best fish.
They're
And
so
they're so,
ugly.
and their faces just look terrifying.
Their teeth come
Yeah.
out on the bottom and
Yeah.
just point out. They're the ugliest little fuckers I've ever seen, and I love them.
Yeah, they're great.
I love ugly ass fish.
That's we should get
Oh,
those
they're
for the. Maybe we
big.
get some barracudas for the office.
Well, we should get piranha. Me and Jason always wanted to have piranhas.
Piranhas,
in the house.
okay,
Yeah,
fine,
we thought it was
fine.
cool. You throw a steak in there and just watch
Yeah.
them go crazy on it. Well, I'm glad Caleb got you in the show. It's really cool to hear that it's still kind of like people are still moving in this kind of direction now, because these are the times where the exact opposite happens. These are the times where people close ranks and head back to electoral politics to try to fix the world again. And the hope is that, we can kind of stem that this time.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you for
Yeah.
calling in. We really appreciate it. And please call in and tell us any fish news. We love it when Caleb calls us
Yeah.
and tells us bird news. We
I was
need
gonna
fish
say.
news.
Now I consider myself. If
I-
someone
I-
were ever to wonder, I consider myself an expert in fish biology now. Just because hopefully I'll be able to ask you real quick at a party if someone starts pressing me too hard.
Yeah. And Chico, California was always in Sons of Anarchy, too. I'm just going to tell you that. They would go to Chico sometimes.
Yeah. They had a good salmon steak.
Well, Chico is extremely a name that Ron Perlman would say and, love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to Chico, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for calling in.
Oh, it's
and
great.
thank you, Caleb, for
Yeah,
calling
thank
in.
you so much,
Yeah,
guys.
you know what?
Yep.
We
and
need to
shout out
put,
to Caleb.
Yeah, we need to put some bonus point. We need to put some punches on his MLM card.
Yeah.
Like he gets 3 stars towards his first ham or something.
I
You
love
know
that-
those. You know those fucking hams are expensive as shit, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
I
maybe
found
that
out why
one
they're.
has-
I found out why they're a gift. Because the ham is fucking expensive.
Maybe no more hams now? No more hams?
Well, yeah.
we can
they're
afford a
funny.
hammer.
Yeah. People can still get ham.
Somebody in the chat
I
was
feel like we owe Caleb a ham.
Yeah.
Especially because I know a ham costs. Caleb would have to work for like 20 fucking hours to get a ham.
well, what if Caleb doesn't want the ham? That's the thing. Did the person that you gave the ham to really want the ham?
Oh hell yeah, they came. They were excited. These kids are hungry. They need a good 6 pounds of glazed ham because otherwise they're not going to eat anything. Those cigarettes don't have any calories.
Part of me was like, nobody wants this goddamn ham.
No,
And
they
now
have vape cartridges. The only vegetables they've had this week was a Caesar salad vape cartridge.
Okay, why don't we take one more call and take a break?
Okay, that's
And
fine.
again, we have about an hour and 15 minutes left in the show, so we might not get to all the calls. Let's
All
get
right,
our
let's
call
see.
in here.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking
What's up,
to?
guys?
Howdy.
Hey, how are you?
I hate to tell you this when you call in. It's just this isn't a ham call, so I hope you're not disappointed in that.
What?
This
Oh God,
guy's
no!
not getting a ham.
No.
I would politely decline the ham. I actually fucking hate ham.
I do too. I don't even know.
Brian
how to say
hates it.
I
Brian
hate
hates
I,
it.
Like literally,
He complains about it. Like you're like, they're gonna try to feed us that fucking ham. You're like mad about it. I'm like, Jesus, man. Something I like sucks about that I gave that up, you know?
Brett,
Like, I genuinely miss it.
it's so funny that Brett knows that I actually heard, so my brother-in-law once told me a story, right? And I never identified with him more than I did at this moment. And he said that when he was a kid, one year on Thanksgiving, his parents were like, this is my wife's family too. They were like, fucking nobody cares about turkey. Don't nobody want no fucking turkey. Let's buy a ham. And he cried. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, motherfucker, I want to cry too, thinking that all there was ham.
I've also heard you complain about turkey, though.
I don't like anything.
Yeah, that's true.
I
You
mean,
just
I
like
think-
chorizo is the only thing that you like.
A pile of steaks is what I want.
Turkey's not good either. Turkey
No.
is also not good.
Turkey is so good with
Rick,
fucking gravy.
There's a reason we only eat these meats on holidays. Because
Turkey
no one
on-
fucking wants to eat them.
I'm gonna agree with you on that.
Like different days. You know what
I'm
I
with
mean?
you
Like,
on that.
It's just, I don't know.
If I was a cowboy, I'd eat ham.
Hugely dense, by the way.
Well, what's going on
I
tonight?
was gonna say, man. Well, yeah, it got me thinking. Actually, I got a my job didn't give us a ham gift certificate, but they did give us a turkey gift certificate. At
That's
fucking,
cheaper, to be honest.
At
They
fucking,
they like
at,
undercut you.
Thanksgiving time. And you know what drives me nuts about it too is we just recently got bought by a not recently, it's like 2 years ago. We got bought by this holding company. All right, this giant. These guys that used to work for what was that holding company that Mitt Romney worked for?
Bain
Guys that
Capital?
worked for them started this fucking place, bought us, and I worked for this really profitable company. The old owners used to tell us how much like profit they were making, and
Okay.
these motherfuckers were making like, it's a smaller company I worked for, only like 200 people, and they were making like, it broke down to like 60 grand of profit per employee or something like that. I did
Jesus.
the math once. And
Whoa.
those motherfuckers came through, cut all of our pay. Like, they didn't directly cut our pay, but they did it in a roundabout way, so everyone was making less, and then
Right.
gave us like a $8 fucking gift certificate for fucking turkey on Thanksgiving. Like, that made up for it or something. Just assholes, man.
Yeah, that's so shitty.
Just bought a company that was printing money and thought that what we need to do is make more money. It just, and that actually brings me to my point while I was listening to the show, is those are the fucking people that are enemies. Like, I know that, like, in street fight culture, we all like to bitch about our direct superiors, and you should. If your Taco Bell shift manager is an asshole, I mean, call in and bitch about them, or go on Facebook and bitch about them, and we'll all stand in solidarity with you. But those people are part of the proletariat too, guys. I mean, like, fucking your manager at the mall store, or your manager at the call-in center, like, is more of a comrade than they are an enemy. Like, and if someone wants to make you a manager, like, go for it. You know what I mean? Obviously, individual fucking bosses suck, right? I mean, but, like, those are individual assholes. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to, if someone offers you that job, you can take it and do it in a way that you're not an asshole. I mean, if they start asking you to do things that are unethical, then you shouldn't do them and you should quit. But at the same time, you should take the fucking job. I mean, don't feel bad about it. Marx wasn't talking about the shift manager at, the fast food place. You know what I mean? That's not what we were talking about. So I just people.
No, I appreciate
people
that.
Often ask. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate that. No, go ahead. I mean,
Right.
and I agree with what you're saying. That's right on. I agree. I mean, just you're gonna have to, you have to keep following stuff. The day goes on, or you're gonna have to figure something out for tomorrow and try to do better. And don't stay in a shitty situation for too long. But certainly better not, to have a car that works and some sort of stability and shit if you're not in charge of, completely dehumanizing people,
Right, absolutely. But it's the real reason I was calling is I had a quick story. Well, it's let's call it a fictionalized story about stealing from work. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, it's actually kind of hard to hear you guys. So
Oh, sorry.
If, like I'm talking over you or something like that.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay. So I worked. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Cleveland, right? But I worked out in. I lived out on the West Coast for a while, and not the West Coast, but like the western part of the country. And I worked at a shoe store in a very, very large mall. It was actually the company I worked for is like flagship store, and it did like, the store probably did like $6 million a year or something like that. But there was they just didn't have very good inventory control. So like everyone stole from them. Like
Right.
just people just stole constantly. Just took wherever they wanted. It was rampant because they didn't do like bin counts. If you ever worked at
Right.
they just didn't do anything that you normally would do to like.
We did
control
that
inventory.
when I worked as a teenager.
What?
When I was like 16, I worked at this toy store, and I remember one time when we were doing like a big yearly inventory, there was a truck that was coming by and was going to sit at our location, and then we were going to load some stuff on, and then it would go to the next location. And I remember my manager had taken like a personal loan out of the till and hadn't been able to pay it back, so he had like marked down that this like bicycle was in there in the truck, and he's like, well, I mean, it'll just disappear when they go to the next one. It'll just be a lost in transit thing. And he said it was like, he was just like so like tricked himself into thinking that wasn't stealing, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm going to fucking town. As soon as they gave me keys and let me do returns, like everybody in my class from high school was bringing shit into return. I would just forge their fucking names. Every day I would come up with a new return from someone in school for $50 or $60 for whatever I wanted. It was really stupid, like you have to, if you don't have people keeping track of that shit, it's going to be a fucking free for all.
oh yeah. So side note, I used to work. It's actually funny. You had a guy to call in to work for Lids. Lids was like, I don't know if it still is, but at the time it was owned by Genesco. Genesco also owned Journeys, and I worked at Journeys. I was a manager at Journeys for a while, and we would we would have people, and I was like 19. I was like 19, 20 years old, and we do so much different stealing from that place, man. Like, we had this guy who'd want to trade us like ounces of weed for Timberlands. Like, this guy would give us like an ounce of weed for like a pair of fucking like good weed, like an ounce of fucking like kind bud for a pair of $150 Timberlands. We would steal those. Those we would just like buy at our employee discount, end up paying like $80 for these fucking things. This guy was $400 with weed.
That's
God, a Journeys.
That's
Don't
incredible.
understand how much better my life would be right now, currently, if I could get a Journeys discount. Because I spend a lot of money at Journeys.
You would probably still wear fucking Etnies. Do you still wear Etnies, Brian?
No, my daughter likes, but
you would though, wouldn't you? If you could find them, you'd buy them, wouldn't you?
I'm mostly, what I wear right now? They're Bobos, but they're also like $250. I wear North Face shoes, and then my only other shoe that I have, the only other shoe I have that's cool for when I'm wearing cool shoes is white Nike Cortez. I have moved away, but I wore Etnies. I wore one specific kind of Etnies for 6 years straight. When they wore through, I went and bought them again until they stopped making them. They had a big E pointing down on the side.
That was almost all of them. Yeah.
Right, but they were like black.
Those were ones everyone had. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I wore them for like fucking 6 years, and I can never figure out why my feet hurt all the time. I've never been on a skateboard in my life, by the way.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Would never ride a skateboard. We actually used to make fun of this. Like, we would pick on the skateboarders when I was in school. We called them non-PC names that I'm not going to say on the show. But, like,
right.
I wore those shoes, and my feet hurt all the time. every day of my life because
Yeah,
they're
they're
just flat and they're
Yeah,
not
they're
good for
Payless
walking
shoes. They're
in.
Payless shoes that had E on them.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and then it was always, it looks like a fucking M. And then when people ask you if it's a name that starts with an M, you're like, you act like they're fucking stupid, you know?
Fucking Etnies, you
It's an
dumb
E.
fuck.
It's an E.
Do they still make Etnies?
Did you?
Probably. Someone has to
I
own that
don't
brand.
know.
It's worth money.
I've been out of the shoe game for 8-9 years now. Sorry. Did you ever have those shoes that had the secret compartment in the sole?
No, I had
never.
What's the name of
soaps
those?
and I had a pair of
I
Ruse.
can't remember.
Yeah, I had Ruse. Now,
Okay.
those did have a secret pouch in them,
They
too.
had a pouch in
The
it.
Ruse had in the pocket. I
Wanna
would
hear-
could
wanna
keep
hear a
some
sad
shit in
story?
there, yeah.
Want to hear a sad story about Ruse? When I was in kindergarten,
Yeah.
my parents got me Ruse, and I was so fucking excited, and I put my lunch money in my shoe, which was $1.25 at the time, and I took the dollar and I wrapped it around the quarter and I stuck it in my shoe, and cried because I couldn't get the $1.25 out of my shoe. And like I was just freaking out about it at the bus stop. I'm crying, and like all the other there's no other parents there. It's just a bunch of kindergarten kids standing out at this bus stop. I can't get it out. I get it to school, and I'm like, my money's stuck in my fucking shoe. Like really freaking out at this time. And they were like, why don't you like take your shoe
Yes,
off and
yeah.
get it out? And I was like, oh, okay. Did it. It was fixed.
Yeah.
It was traumatic though.
That's really
Yes,
sad, Brian.
seems
Sorry.
like it.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
oh,
it's
there,
rough.
give you a big hug, dude. Jeez.
Yeah, well, I mean, just
but,
think about how that made because I cried in front of people, and I think that's why it made such an impression in my mind.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, you
Yeah.
remember that forever?
yeah, no, I know. But so anyway, so like I was saying, I was so I worked at a store out on the West Coast where everyone stole, and I mean, it was kind of like an old person store too. So we were just kind of, we're all younger, so we were just stealing to steal. Like it sold we sold these really like expensive like $400 like comfort old people shoes that like they weren't
Nice.
cool or anything like that. So I don't even know why
Right.
we were taking them. So I had.
That's a good. I mean, that's like Louis Vuitton shoes.
That, like I
I'm
should
sorry,
not
go ahead.
have had, okay, and
Yeah.
So I ended up having to move back to Cleveland. I had my son, and we needed to move back because we needed support and all that kind of stuff. So we didn't really have any money, and we didn't really have that much shit either. And we were moving in with my ex-mother-in-law, so I didn't need to bring a couch and all that kind of stuff. So I packed up. What I decided to do was when we moved was just to fly back and then pack up all of our clothes and all that kind of stuff and ship it to ourselves. All right. So I packed up like 15 boxes. It was going to cost me like $400 just to ship them all via all like our important stuff to ourselves via UPS. And I got the boxes from the store I was working at, right? Because it was a shoe store, we had a ton of boxes. And I also got transferred. I was transferred from the store they had a store in Cleveland, so I was transferring from the store out in the West Coast out to Cleveland. And, I shipped 15 boxes to myself. And, I get to Cleveland, settle in, everything arrives. And only 14 of the boxes show up, all right? One box gets lost. And it's the box that had all of my shoes in it, and which 95% of my shoes I hadn't paid for, right? And it turns out that I had left the fucking label, because I got them from the store I worked from. I left the label, the original label on that box. So the box with all the shoes that I had no record of buying got shipped to the store where I had taken them from. Okay.
Oh,
And I was still working
no.
for the company.
Oh fucking no!
No. Oh no! I mean, and this was again. These were all like $500. So it was probably $5,000 or $6,000 worth of stuff. So it was enough that it could be like serious charges, right?
Did anyone put
So
it together?
I
God damn it! Sorry. Go
What's
ahead.
that?
Go. Just go. Go ahead. I'm freaking out. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I I kind of expected what was happening. So I kind of, and I was like I said before, I was a manager at Journeys before all this. So like I dealt with like the way loss prevention, corporate loss prevention behaves, because I had to deal with it as a manager and all that kind of stuff. And so one day at my new store in Cleveland, I was an assistant manager, and I was closing a loan all by myself, and some dude shows up, and he's from loss prevention and corporate, and he sits me down, and he's like, so I don't know if you know why I'm here. I'm like, no, I don't know why you're here. And I definitely knew exactly why I was there.
Yeah.
And oh, and I forgot to mention I had been drinking, so I was like kind of drunk too because I was drinking. So this guy, but I think it actually helped me. It made me a little bit more fearless.
Yeah, you were fucking Clint Eastwood, dude. Feeling loose. Just,
yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know a goddamn thing about no box of shoes.
Yeah. He's like, so what happened to all those shoes? I'm like, oh yeah, you guys need to give those. They need to ship those back to me. And he's like, what? I'm like, those are my shoes. He's like, well, you didn't buy. He's like, you don't have records of you buying any of those. And I just looked at the motherfucker dead in the eye. I'm like, yeah, I didn't buy them from. I'm not gonna say the name of the company. I didn't buy them from
Right.
X company. He's like, what? He's like, I didn't buy them from your store. He's like, what do you mean you didn't buy them from your store? I'm like, I don't know, man. I just, I know what those are worth. So, I go to a lot of garage sales, and I go to a lot of like thrift stores and everything. And when I see them, I know what they're worth, so I pick them up. You know what I mean?
I'm a sneakerhead, dude. Yeah, I'm a collector. I just know how to find. Yeah, I just know how to find them. Okay, I like this.
Yeah, and then it just went back and forth like that. He was like, well, the manager at the old store told me that you might be difficult to deal with, but we know you took them. And I'm like, well, I didn't. He's like, yeah, I might think I did, but I didn't. And he's like, well, look, if you just admit to this, it's going to be a lot easier for you. And this is where I want to stop and say, if anyone ever says that to you, that's bullshit. They're lying to you. And don't do it.
They're
Not
firing
true.
you.
Yeah.
They're ready to fire you.
Yeah.
No matter what, they're going to fire
yes,
you.
Yes. No, exactly. I still end up being fired, but if you admit to it, that's when they call the police.
Yep.
They show up with the police if they can prove it. If you're talking to your manager, or if you're talking to a loss prevention person, and they are trying to get you to admit to something, they need you to do that so they can press charges. Otherwise, they would have shown up with the cops. If they didn't show up with the cops, don't admit shit. In fact, just leave. They can't keep you there. What I really should have done is I should have just got up and left and not talked to the guy at all.
Yeah.
That's what you should do too, fellow listeners. If you find yourself in the situation, do not admit to anything. These loss prevention people act like they're fucking cops. Like all the same techniques
I know.
the cops will try to use on you. And I think most street fighters are probably smart enough to not talk to the cops.
They won't even detain you.
But I mean, go ahead.
They won't even detain you. They won't even grab you and like hold you down.
Right. Exactly. They can't. I mean, I've heard some things about Target, I guess, is pretty shitty, but like for the most part, these stores will not, will not do shit. So that's what it was. I went back and forth with this guy for like, probably a half hour about, I heard you're really tough for me. I was like, well, I didn't do it. He's like, you expect me to believe that you bought all those at the fucking thrift store? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you believe. It's what happened. We went back and forth, and he ended up just terminating me and took my keys, and it was all good. But it was scary there for a minute. And it sucked because I lost my job too, and I had a newborn, so that also blew. But
Yeah, that's tough. That's really tough.
I ended up all working out. I got a better job. And go ahead.
No, I'm saying that's tough. That's tough. But I'm glad you didn't get fucking. You didn't end up having to pay or anything or go to fucking jail.
Or going to going to jail is the part that would have fucking sucked. But yeah, for sure. Anyway, Thanks a lot, guys. That's really all I got. I know you guys want to go on a break, so I will let you do that. Okay.
All right, peace.
Thanks for calling. It was a great story. Break time.
Oh, yeah.
Break
Yeah, absolutely.
time. You got
Talk to
some
you.
tunage, dudage?
Yeah, I can do some tunes.
All right. I got to pee.
Let me see what we got here. Oh, shoot. A lot of people said some stuff in here. I'm trying to remember what stuck out here.
Is there one that's not racist?
I hope.
I hope there's one that's not racist.
I hope we can find something. Let's just do this one. This is Down with Rent is their name, I think.
That's a good name.
Down with Rent. I hope they have enough songs here to play, because yes, they do. This is, you can find them at downwithrent.bandcamp.com. The name of their album is entitled Millennial Scum, which works pretty well for this show, so enjoy. You got to play it over there? Yeah. Can you go to downwithrent.bandcamp.com? Down with Rent. The stuff that we pay every month. I saw, did you see all the 28 days in February, but we got to pay the same amount of rent memes, Brian? That's fertile ground for organizing. Yeah, man. Give us
thought about it.
prorate us 3 days.
Yeah. I got charged more for rent this month.
You got charged more?
I stay getting charged. Like, my rent's supposed to be $1,025, and every month they're like, you owe us $1,112. I don't know how it happens.
Taxation?
Without representation.
That's the worst kind.
That's the kind that you
It's
don't
the kind
want.
that makes you want to get your musket out.
I know. That's the kind you actually don't want. All right, so
So-
we're done with ham, right?
Yeah, I mean, those hams are expensive. I think that last guy earned a ham. Like, that was a ham-worthy call, but they're $80 bucks a
hams.
pop.
80 fucking ham dollars?
Yeah, $80
Can we
a
send them
ham.
ham dollars?
Maybe like
Look
a
into the
portion
ham
of ham,
dollars.
a ham sandwich. How about we'll send you a ham sandwich, or I can make some ham salad, some
Ew,
vegan ham
no.
salad, and I'll send it in styrofoam with dry ice. My fakin' ham salad, faux ham salad, coming right up after the break. We will be giving away more free ham salad. We have buckets full of it, and we have ice cream scoop ready to go. We're throwing it in envelopes, mailing it to your house. You ready to do this?
Yeah.
Hit it. Hey everybody, we're back. That was Down with Rent. You can find them at downwithrent.bandcamp.com. Their their album was entitled Millennial Scum. Sorry, I really botched with that. I'm really in outer space right now. I took a dab break on this good ass saucy shit that I got. Some sour diesel that's really lighting me up. We got 5 more calls to go. I think we can get to y'all. It's going to be the lightning round. We got to get this thing done by midnight. I have to take a kindergartner to school tomorrow. So let's get back into it. Street Fight Radio does have bonus content available on Patreon. Please sign up. We have so much cool shit over there if you want more of what we do. And more is coming. More is on the way. Them Anarchist Cookbook live stream. That's what I want to work on next. It's me my big project. So get into it.
Hell yeah.
Let's see here. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Hey, is this me?
That's you. Who's this?
Ooh, hello. Hi, my name's Garrett. I'm calling from Pittsburgh.
What's up, Garrett? Pittsburgh's a wonderful place. What's going on tonight?
Oh, not much. Just first time, long time, I suppose. I'm calling because the thing that is sawing my particular dick off on this fine evening is grad school stuff. It is just kicking my ass, and figured that I would call in and talk about all of the various ways that it is doing so.
Nice. Well, we do have a lot of grad school listeners, and we do get calls from people from grad school, and it does sound like hell. It's, again, I was thinking of going to grad school and instead decided that it was probably easier to make my living as a podcaster and comedian. So I admire what you're doing. I had a wonderful person, host of No Cartridge, also doing a live show this weekend. Hagelbon talked me out of it. So,
Nice.
what's happening in grad school?
Not much. I mean, basically, it's just so I am a teacher. I'm a high school social studies teacher. I am getting my master's in teaching, so I'm doing like student teaching all day and then master's classes all night. So it's kind of a no fun situation in a lot of cases. It's, a lot of the time it's like I'm leaving my house at 6 a.m, not getting back until 10 p.m. And there's like stuff that whole time. But
Yeah,
basically
I've
just,
avoided those type of
yeah.
responsibilities my whole life.
Yeah. Did you say high school social studies teacher?
yeah, I'm teaching 9th grade.
Always wanted. That's what I wanted to do.
Really?
When I was going to go get a real job, my job that I wanted was high school social studies teacher. I thought it sounded great. Is it good? Well, you're a student teacher, so they probably treat you like
Oh.
shit.
Like, the teaching aspect is absolutely fantastic. Like, I completely love it. There's like no complaints there whatsoever. Like, I mean, obviously there's, ups and downs. Some days are better than others, but yeah, like I adore the teaching part of it. It's just the, grad school part that sucks. It's like, just pretty much like a master class in how to horribly exploit labor. Like, not only like, so since I'm getting my master's, I'm doing my student teaching internship. So like I teach all day. I work like a full-time job, and then I go do master stuff at night. But like that full-time job is something that I am paying to do.
Oof. Oh my God.
So it sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that
student
is
teaching thing
challenging.
seems. The student teaching thing always seemed like kind of a ripoff to me because it's like, so you want them to do all the teacher work, but also pay to do it? Like, that doesn't seem like a good way to do things.
For sure.
I think.
Oh yeah, it's like it's a fantastic deal for the school district. But yeah, total nightmare. It's like I realized that over the summer I have to finish up the degree, and I have to pay for 6 credits, which is $6,000 roughly. I realized that $3,000 of those credits is literally just me paying them $3,000 to do a full-time job.
Well, yeah, it's like when you want
sucks.
to, you have to give a gift to the drug dealer when you want to really pump up your volume and get a better price on your bricks. You got to pay a tithe or something, for them to get into the club,
Is the school? Oh no, you're student teaching. You're not teaching. So the school's not paying for your degree either. You're really just paying for the privilege of doing somebody else's full-time job.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, at this point in the student teaching cycle, I am now I'm doing all of the planning. I'm doing all of the instruction. So I am doing the job of the full-time teacher. And then there's a mentor teacher who's also in the classroom, and he's very helpful and does all kinds of stuff. But at the end of the day, it is literally just that he's hanging out and clicking around on YouTube or whatever in the background while I do the stuff, and then he's making a bunch of money.
Is it fun? It's are you able to pick what you're teaching, or are you teaching to a test?
Well, that's actually the cool thing in Pennsylvania is that there isn't a standardized test for social studies instruction, so you get a lot more leeway than English or math would. So that's cool. And I've gotten to you can deviate from the curriculum a pretty decent amount, which I appreciate. But yeah, like I said, the actual teaching part has been great. I love doing that part. It's just the have endless busy work for school, and then the optics of the labor is pretty rough.
And the college professors probably all know how much time you're spending and are treating you like this is you're paying your dues, I guess, to be a teacher, which is just really great, you know. Really great to make people like go through an initiation process to become a teacher. That's the best way probably to figure out how to find teachers. I wonder how many people are chased off from that profession because of this part of your job.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's like, I don't really understand where the idea of like teaching as like a hardcore left like profession comes from, because in my experience, I mean, granted, you know, I'm originally from Oklahoma and now I'm in Pittsburgh, so like that's just kind of like some of the character of it. But in my experience, like teachers in general are like very conservative, and a lot of them have that kind of, you know, crappy like boomer mindset of, well, damn, you know, I did my time and I was miserable for like 10 years, so I'm going to make you twice as miserable.
I felt like even my college professors were slightly more conservative than I had expected. Not maybe like George W. Bush type conservative people, but I saw them as people who were like very okay with the status quo kind of thing. I went to school during the Obama years, and I always felt like, I don't know, sociology felt almost to me like the most hopeless thing in the world. Political science and sociology both to me felt like a lot of people saying like, well, that's just the way things are, and that's how politics works, and you know, we just gonna have to live in the world where that exists.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm definitely like a very like hardcore leftist person, and there's just like none of that. That doesn't exist at all. It's like, you know, most people are either like kind of like center dim, like or like hard conservative. Like there's like a lot of people who teach that are like just like all about Trump.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. Well, we have to get going. We're in speed round right now. We got people on the line, but thanks for calling in, man. Was there something you wanted to get to before we
absolutely.
go?
Thanks for having me, and good luck getting through the rest of the call.
Thanks, man. Have a good night. That paying to go to work thing is pathetic. That's like the worst thing. I mean, like even plumbers get paid less to go to apprenticeship jobs, but at least they get money. You know?
Right.
The teaching thing where they have to pay to go teach, to me seems like, I don't know, it seems very antiquated. It seems like something that should go away. It seems like so much of the economies that we've built depend on, like, so
yeah, I mean,
it seems like so much of the economy is, these are jobs that you can get that are wonderful jobs, and in order to get to these wonderful jobs, you have to eat shit for a number of years and not get paid. Law is like that too.
Yeah.
It seems so fucked up. Like you should never be like, what good is it who is it good for that he has to pay to teach full time at a
purse
school?
holders, man.
Yeah.
The money people.
Yeah. I mean, we should always be asking that question. Who's this good for?
Yeah.
And that is who it is.
Let's see
time.
Who's on the line here. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to?
Hi. This is Joe in Philly.
What's up, Joe? We'll be seeing you on
the 3rd.
On April 3rd, maybe, if you show up. I mean, I can't guarantee that you'll be there.
I'm looking forward to it.
What's going on tonight, Joe?
Not much. Just hanging out in my house, watching some TV, listening to you guys. Wanted to call in because I've listened for a little while, but first time calling in. And I have a number of business tyrant stories from growing up at the shore in New Jersey.
Oh shit, my favorite kind of small business tyrant works that's carny work right there, man. Did you work at a t-shirt store that sells shirts that say like, I'm not as think as you drunk I am or something like that?
Female body inspector?
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends who worked at those places though.
I'm sure those are wonderful jobs. 3 shirts for $15.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, they don't pay anything.
Oh hell no, Brett.
For the people working there.
Brett owns the ugliest towel in the history of the world that he bought at a place like that with a big, is it a pit bull on
It's
it?
a Rottweiler.
There's a Rottweiler on a towel. It is so hideous, and I love it so much. I once bought a towel.
Oh, I
from
know,
one of
like
those-
the exact look of that.
I once bought a towel from one of those beach shops, Brett, and you know who I am,
Yeah.
right? Cheap. I go
Right.
in there. There's towels for $15. There's towels for $20.
Yeah,
And then there's
then you
towels
go
for
digging.
$2.
You go digging in the bin with something covered in dust, and you're like, "How much are these?" And they're like, "There's no price." I'm like, "I don't know, $3."
So I bought one of those, and
And the water just beads right off of it.
yes, I didn't think you could make a towel that made you just basically the same wet when you
Yeah.
wrap it around you. It just slides all over. You're like,
Yeah.
what is this fucking towel made out of?
Yeah, they're worthless.
It's the worst, man. I'm so mad at that towel.
It's made of thread where like they take the normal thread and they pull it apart to like get more use out of it. This shit is so thin.
It's the worst.
It's like 100 thread count.
It slides on you when you're like drying yourself up. You get it on your chest. You're like, you get it. You're like, I'm gonna dry my head off and
Yeah.
stuff, and it's just sliding, and the water's just staying there. It's more like used to push water off of you.
Yeah, it's like a plastic dinner mat rubbing it all over your body.
I love those places. So what kind of stuff did you do on the shore?
So I mainly worked in like restaurants and stuff.
Selling
and working
pizzas?
in restaurants down there is like even worse than restaurants in like working in like Philly or like in a city or anything.
Yeah, I can't
Like, 'cause
imagine
they're
that they pay well.
like, oh yeah, they don't pay. Like they pay worse than anywhere else I've ever worked at.
What made you go?
But the
What-
one story that like
Can I ask, like,
What's
did you grow up on the shore? Is that kind of so you just didn't
Yeah,
have much of a
yeah.
choice? Okay. Well,
yeah, I grew up like offshore from Ocean City, New Jersey.
Oh, this is like a dream life for me for some reason. Just like growing up in like Myrtle Beach or the Jersey Shore or something is just like your life just has to be insane all the time. I can't imagine like on Friday night if you're out running around in like a place like Myrtle Beach or something, the kind of shit you see has to be incredible.
Well, like the thing is, like it's like there's a lot of stuff going on for like 4 months of the year, and the rest of the year it's like a ghost town.
Yeah,
And like there's some benefits to that, but there's like nowhere to work or anything. So like if you didn't get unemployment from working the whole summer through, and if you're like me and like a bad employee, so I never had like a job long enough to get that, you just ate shit like all the way through the winter.
Yeah,
Wow.
bad employers
Wow.
too.
Wow.
So what kind of bosses did you have out there? Because I can't imagine that they're people persons.
Oh, they're-
you know.
No, not at all. Like they're all like just very entitled, like old boys club kind of people. Like they're the people that have just always had money around there, and so they have like 5 different businesses or something like that. Like they were all just like so out of touch with the real world, like outside of like their little bubble. It was really crazy. Like they were really weird.
I mean, if you're a guy, if you're
Like
a guy,
the one place.
if you're a guy that's rich and you work in the Jersey Shore, do you think that they're just like, why do I need to go on a vacation? You know, we talk a lot about people in New York and stuff that have never left their street. You know what I mean? That are like, they act like worldly people that understand what's going on in the world. Like, let me tell you how the world works. You know, a guy plays stickball and then he eats a pizza and then he's like, hey, why don't I got a job over here? You know, but he's working in a bodega.
That's
and
a
you're
disgusting
like,
stereotype, Brian.
no, I'm talking about a certain type of person.
Right.
And I assume that if you're a rich guy that owns a restaurant on the Jersey Shore, you're like, fucker, dude, I live in vacation. This is my vacation. I'm always on vacation. And I bet
Yeah,
you they're the
that's
worst.
that's what brings you to a place like that. And also the thing that's great about vacation spots is you can run a business there because it's always new people. You can run a terrible restaurant on the shore
Yeah.
because new idiots show up every single day and they have lots of extra money and they paid off their credit card and they're ready to fill it back up again on king crab legs for
Yeah, like
$21.95.
nobody cares about quality. at all.
Right.
Like, because they know people are just going to keep coming.
I want a buffet.
What
Like,
kind
no
of
matter
kitchen
what.
nightmares? You ever see any kitchen nightmare shit going on there?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, get your
like,
story.
Like the one story that came to mind, like listening to the show that I like wanted to call in for, was like I worked at this place in Sea Isle City, New Jersey. Like naming names, it's a place called Angelo's. Like as soon as you drive into the place, it's like the first pizza place that you see, and like that place was so terribly managed, and like the food was so like piss poor. Like they cut their pizzas into 7 slices, which was really weird.
That's satanic.
So there'd
There's
always
something
be one
wrong
really
with that.
tiny slice and one just gigantic slice.
Okay, yeah, that's a weird. You had to eyeball 7.
You gotta just let these
Like, it
kids
was-
cut the
yeah, like,
pizza.
I
Like,
don't
the way they're
understand
gonna
how
do
it works.
Yeah. You got to let these kids cut the pizza just the way they're going to cut the pizza, you know? I mean, you give them a little guideline. You're like, you basically, you can't have a special cut. If you're going to hire 16-year-olds to cut your
There's
pizza.
only one way to cut pizza. We can just teach them the right way.
There isn't only one way to cut pizza. There's 2 ways. And plus, not only are there there's 2 ways to cut a pizza, right? You can do squares or you can do triangles. But the other thing is that you can pizza roll slice it or big knife. That's 4 ways to cut a pizza.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
as a
Like, but
pizza
this place,
expert.
they just did a weird cut. I don't understand why they did it that way. They were trying to be like different or make up for the fact that their pizza was terrible. Like,
No,
I don't know.
but even with,
But
Brian, here's the thing. Even if you do triangle, even if you do square cut, even if you use a roller, even if you use the big blade, you chop across once and then you chop the other side. That's the beginning of every fucking
Yes.
pizza ever.
I'll agree with that. I will
So
agree
those
with
are the
that.
first 2 steps, and that gets you on the path to not having 7 fucking slices ever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I never made it past dishwasher at this place, so I never learned the special cut.
How long did you work there?
But yeah, like probably like 4 or 5 months before I realized like how like terrible it was. Because like the lady that was the manager of it was, she was a gym teacher at like a Catholic school, and brought like a very gym teacher energy to like managing the place. Like she was constantly lecturing us about like stupid little stuff and like, you know, like always like really like talking down to us and stuff. And like after a while, like I was kind of fed up with the place. But one night I forgot that I was scheduled to be in there, and took some acid with my friends. And it was like after we had dosed, I realized that I had to work, and so I was like, well, I'm not going in.
Yeah, that's always smart. Some
And so
people
then-
would be like, I'm going to go. I got to
can
do
make
it.
it, yeah.
I got to fucking do it. I got to tough it out. I want to fuck my other employees over. I'm going to go. And then that's a bad idea.
Yeah, don't do it. You're
Yeah.
going to end up in jail.
I have tripped while working, and it's not fun.
Yeah, no, I was not trying to do that at all. And so I waited until I was like starting to like come up, and then I called in and quit. And the lady was like, "Oh, I thought you wanted to like make food. Like, you know, I thought you wanted to have this job. Like, what was the problem?" And then I was like, "You know what? I'm already quitting." And I just told her, I was like, "You know what the problem is? You."
Really?
And
You know what I
just,
kind of
like,
wish, though?
Yeah.
You should have said, you could have maybe, like, really won there, and she said, you know, why you're quitting? I thought I wanted to make food, and you're like, oh, man, I took acid, like, 2 hours ago, and I know that I got to work, and I just don't want to deal with it right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, but no, I just took the time to tell her off and like,
What'd you say?
you know, tell her how much like she like, you know, belittled me and like how I didn't appreciate being treated like that, and I thought the place was poorly run.
That's amazing. What did she say?
I mean, she was like a little taken aback by it. Like it seemed like I caught her really off guard.
Tight.
I don't really remember how the conversation ended after that, because I was tripping.
How good
but I
did
had
you
a great
feel?
trip after that. That was great.
How good did you feel, though?
What
You
was that?
had to feel great.
I know, man. That's a
Oh.
great omen for the beginning of a trip, man.
Yeah.
You feel so fucking free, dude. You're like a bird.
It felt awesome. But then there's like a funny, like, epilogue to the story. Because like a few years later, me and my friends were again tripping in Sea Isle, and there's this thing that my friends called the fart hole.
Okay.
Okay.
It was like just this hole that came out of like a municipal building that just like let out some like air that it didn't smell or anything, but if you put your hand over it just right, it made a continuous farting sound.
Nice. Okay, that's neat.
And we were just like laughing our heads off at it, and then we hear somebody like on a porch behind us, because it's like in Sea Isle in the middle of winter, so we didn't expect anybody to be there at all, and we heard somebody yell at us from like a porch, and I turn around and it's like the same lady that like I had quit and told off. And I just had to run away laughing, because I was like, if I could have picked any person on this island to piss off right now, it would have been her. And I did. It was great.
You and your fart hole.
Playing with a fucking fart hole, man.
That's really funny.
That
It
is
was
so
just
beautiful.
already the funniest thing in the world while we were on acid, and then that just like added, a layer to it that I couldn't have like even imagined.
It's like that really fun, like when you're on acid, there's things that happen that are maybe I once knew that I knew this guy, right? He's tripping and he's drinking. You know how people trip and they drink like a case of beer because they can just keep going
Yeah,
forever.
you never get
This
too
guy's
drunk.
tripping. He drives a 79 Nova. It's a beautiful car. And he has a stereo in it. He's playing the CDs really loud, but he's in my apartment parking lot, right?
Right.
He's my buddy, and I'm just like, dude, you can't sit out here at 1 or 2 in the morning on a Monday blaring "Follow the Leader" by Korn in your car with the door open.
Right.
And so I'm like, I got to go over here and see what this guy's up to. And he was sitting in the car laughing harder than I've ever seen anybody laugh before, because every time he tried to shut the car door, the seatbelt clip would get in there and it would stop the door from shutting and it would pop back open. And he fucking was doing, I couldn't get him out of the car. Like, dude, you just gotta get out of the car. He's like, nah, you gotta check this out. And he would just do it and fucking cry laughing. And my neighbor got mad, and of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for calling. I love the fart hole. It could.
Yeah, good idea.
It was beautiful.
Can I plug something really quick?
Absolutely.
As long as it's not the fart hole.
Don't plug the whole fart hole. It won't make the noise.
I would never. So next week, next Saturday on March 9th, I'm going to be doing leftist comedy show in Philly, kind of inspired by listening to like a lot of stuff like this that we're calling the Comedy Manifesto.
Where's it at?
Good name.
11 o'clock at the Philly Improv Theater.
Nice.
It's our first time doing it, so we're hoping people like it, but I just wanted to take a chance to plug it if I could.
Hell
Yeah, there's a
And
lot of
we're-
people in Philly.
And we're going to be doing some leftist comedy in Philly on January 3rd, or on April 3rd at Good Comedy.
Yeah.
And the tickets will be on sale this week, and you should buy a bunch of
Probably
them so we can do 2 shows.
2 shows, yeah.
But, go
Yeah,
out
it's
to
a
the
small
show. It
place.
sounds fun. Yeah. Have a good night. Thanks for
Yeah,
calling.
that's awesome. Well, thank you guys. Yeah, thank you.
Hell,
I'm
have a
thinking
great
that we
night,
could
guys.
do what if we do for the speed round, if we got like a timer and we got like the first person got like 9 minutes, the next one got 8, then 7, and then like
How
we
many we
went
got
all the
left?
way down. We got 3 to go.
Okay, we got 15 minutes. Let's just do them.
Okay.
They each get 6 minutes.
Okay.
But don't have to be 6 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
No, we'll make them be fucking 6 minutes. Hey, how's it going? You better do 6 minutes or you're in a lot of fucking trouble.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Hello?
Hey, what's
What's
up?
up?
Who's this?
Hello?
We're here.
Is this me?
This is
Yeah,
you. Who
I
is
mean,
it?
You gotta tell us who you are.
Hey, this is Jay from Indiana. How y'all boys doing tonight?
What's up, Indiana, the state where everything's illegal? What's going on tonight?
Yo, KKK, capital of the world.
It's a shitty ass state. I'm here drinking hams with my boyfriend, drunk as shit.
Oh, great. I love hams. Not a bad beer at all.
Yes.
And I love handing out hams.
No.
I do too. Yeah, we like to actually give people hams.
It's a uniquely shitty brew for uniquely shitty people that live in this place.
Yeah. Well, what's going on tonight?
I had my coworker over to drink a bunch of hams, and it was fucking awesome. Just talking shit on management.
Yeah, it's
and,
great.
I wanted to say that I think it's a great idea for folks to have their coworkers over to drink a bunch of beers with them, because that's how shit gets done.
You know, I've had that experience too, where it was like you go out with a few coworkers and people don't want to do this, and I kind of understand where they're like. My wife will be like, I don't want to go out with a bunch of people from fucking work. I'm with them all day. You know, I got my own life going on. I got my husband. Yeah, I don't want him telling people what he does for a living and ruining my reputation. So she doesn't necessarily. I always feel like nobody wants me to tell like what I do for a living, you know? But anyway, people do think, like, I don't think people like hanging out with their coworkers, but you're right. When you do hang out with them outside of work, a lot of the common issues that you have at your job come out, and you start to know that everybody's pissed off about the same stuff.
No, yeah, absolutely. Like, I come from like a really fucking shitty judgmental punk scene background, but it doesn't matter if anyone has that same background if we have the same fucking issues, because we can drink beers and just frankly talk shit about it and have a damn good time.
Yeah, you're exactly right too. It doesn't matter if people are, because that is a thing that I think people get really tied up into, don't you, Brett? Like where it's like, oh, these people at work, they don't like the same shit that I do. We'll never be able to be friends because they don't watch the same TV shows as me, or they don't listen to the same music as me, or they don't like the same books, or they're not an avowed socialist like me. I think that really is a lot of the reason that people don't hang out with the other people from work.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
And the thing is, like, we all.
I think it's a challenge to spend that much time with people throughout the week, and then to also spend your free time with them. That's what I always have trouble with.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that a lot of times you're not really having, when you're at work, you're not having a valid quality. You're not having a real social interaction with somebody when you're at work. But
that's why those Christmas parties are so dangerous, because then people start like really like doing after party and shit, and then all of a sudden like really being friends. All of a sudden, like whenever you like do a felony with somebody, then you know you're like really down for each other, you know?
Right. Yeah. Or you just end up, I mean, but if you do all become friends, like maybe you can solve some of the issues at work. It doesn't have to even be, we're not talking about, you know, let's not unionize. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like, oh, you need to get your friends, you need to hang out with the guy at work that you hate that's a chud and then make a union. It's like, maybe you can just hang out with some people at work that, maybe you can just hang out with the person that really like, that has like Elektra on DVD. You know what I mean? Or like, you can...
Yeah, I mean, one time, a guy from work, one of my good friends, I drank 24 beers with him. We just had a whole case and sat on his couch and watched Family Guy all night long.
Yeah, and you probably don't like Family Guy, but guess what? I did.
Family Guy was the shit back then. This is like 2004.
That's true. Okay.
Family Guy was still on.
Well,
I wasn't watching syndication.
So what'd you guys talk about?
I mean, we work in a really weird niche, so we kind of got to talk about like weird shit within our specific industry, which is like, I don't want to get too specific, but it's like vaguely speaking archiving material and cataloging it, and it's a real fucking weird gig, but it's shit's coming together in a good way, and Like at the very least, it feels really good to know that I have other coworkers that have the same like fucking concerns as me, and like, yeah, it doesn't mean anything about like, it's not broader shit. It's just like knowing that other folks have my back and I have their back, and it feels really good to know that in a workplace, which like can feel really goddamn hostile sometimes.
Hell yeah,
for
that's
sure.
really
That's
good
great.
to know.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Glad
I'm
to
glad
hear
that
it.
worked out over beers. You guys got drunk. You probably threw some shit at each other,
Right.
and you're like, "I'm out of here." You know, that's great. Hopefully, you built something. Maybe some collective action sometime in the future. You know.
Damn right.
Well, have a
Fuck
good
it.
night. Thank you for
And,
calling. Always call in
What was
if
that?
you're from. I thank you for calling. We got 2 more to get to, so I might have taken you off track, but thank you so much for calling.
No, you're good players.
Of the
Y'all,
worst.
y'all take care and have a good night.
Put
Yeah.
it on a timer. I'm just a dickweed.
No, you're doing good.
Electricity.
This is like a real show.
Somebody in there said the Electra DVD owner, they would hang out with them. And I'm like, buddy, you've already hung out with an Electra DVD owner. As a cable guy, the most common DVD in people's collections was Electra.
Right.
So I can say that. Electra.
Everyone's seen it.
Everybody. I've never even seen it.
It's the jagged little pill of its day.
I've
All
never
right,
even
let's
seen
see
it.
here. Thanks for calling Street Fight Radio. Who are we talking to?
Hello. This is John Guy, or as you may know me by my performing name, the Big Guy.
Hey, it's the big guy. Look at the big guy calling in. You're sounding sober, buddy.
No, I'm toasted.
We haven't heard from you in a while. What's going on?
Oh, I deleted the account a while ago, and I was looking at the Facebook feed, and I don't know. I wanted to check back in with everybody, let everybody know that the big guy is still big.
Guying. You're still guying off,
taken.
buddy.
I'm still guying off.
Yeah, it's big guying off. So
I'm out
is
here-
you had gotten a good job though.
Wow.
I do want to say that the last time we talked to you, it'd be nice to get an update. You had gotten a good job. Are you still working, buddy?
I actually don't remember what the situation was the last time I called in, but I am currently gainfully employed at a union business.
Hell yeah!
Oh,
Well, it's
wow.
good to hear
So-
that, man. Well, it's good that
that's-
you called in.
that's-
It's good to hear from you.
Yeah,
All right, big guy.
So,
Well, thanks for calling, buddy.
I'll let y'all get to. I'll let y'all get to the last guy. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you, buddy. A subdued big guy.
Peace.
Felt like I was in trouble on that call.
Really?
A little bit.
For who?
Big guy.
You're
Mad
not in
at me.
trouble. Why is everybody?
The whole world's mad.
You just
at me,
turn everything
Brett.
around on you.
I know.
You have like a magnifying glass.
human being.
Turn your hatred.
You know what? Katie's mad at me right now
What?
for. I won't go through the Taco Bell drive-through anymore.
Because
Now
they're,
she's
ma-
fucking
'cause they're
mad at
making
me.
fun of you?
They're fucking making fun of me.
They're like, he's eating the Taco Bell. Look at him. Oh my God. What
that
the
motherfucker's
fuck?
40 years old.
Oh my God.
Coming through the Taco Bell drive-through, ordering a Baja
What?
Blast Freeze. What a geek. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're getting you.
Now
They're
she's
really-
mad because I make her go in because I'm not eating there. I'm not going through the fucking drive. First of all, and she called me
Wait,
old for
what?
this. I made her go in and order the food because
Do
I don't want to
you-
go through the drive-through because they're making fun
Oh,
of me.
you know what? If you're gonna go and eat inside, you gotta wear a bow tie and a jacket.
We
You
are
gotta at least
eating
wear a
in there.
jacket.
I'm
That's what
saying-
all the old people do. You gotta treat it like it's like it's an upscale place.
Well, she thinks I'm old because I don't like drive-thrus anymore, and has pointed out now that every time I go through a drive-thru, I think they're making fun of me. Like I just had it happen at Tim Hortons again. I was like, this fucking
Are you getting?
guy.
Do you have schizophrenia or something?
No,
or some
I
sort
just-
of like. Are you hearing voices?
Mate, you know what I'm starting to think it is? It's the way that businesses make people talk that feels very disingenuous. Also could be the people I talk to on this show every week that are like, customers are the fucking worst idiot shitheads, you know? And
So
I
you-
say it too. I've made this happen to myself. I am not blaming anybody but me. I just think everybody's making fun of me at drive-thrus. I also think it's
you
a horrible way to order food. Just, And I know she says it makes me sound old that
Yeah,
I like,
you're
don't
turning
want to.
curmudgeon-y.
But I just drive-throughs are the fucking worst thing. I need to look you in the face while I'm ordering my food. I want to look at you.
You don't do the tablet computer?
Well, I'll do that. Yeah. I just need to see you because if I'm talking to you through that speaker, too weird. Too weird for me now. I think it's weird.
Yeah. You think they're just what? Doing this?
Yeah, this guy fucking listen to this
This
guy.
guy, what
Like
the
as soon
fuck?
as I stop talking, they're like, "I'll have a Crunchwrap Supreme."
Right.
I really think it's also because they're younger than me. I think everybody younger
You're
than
just
me is making fun of me.
intimidated by youth.
I just think they make fun of me. I was a
can,
jerk
like-
that made fun of people.
Right.
You know?
And you think that is there some sort of magical power that comes from
I don't like
making
being made
fun of
I feel like
people?
a dork when
Like,
people
what
make fun of
happened?
me. It makes me feel bad.
if you don't let him though, then it won't. You
I
could
don't-
avoid that by not
going through the drive-through.
The opinions of children isn't worth your time.
I can avoid that by not going through the drive-through.
They're dummies.
I know. I don't care. I don't want them to make fun of me.
They're
probably talking about my shoes.
Well,
I bet he's
wear
wearing some
cool
fucking
shoes.
ugly shoes.
Go dress like them and get all the stuff that they like.
I can't.
Go
I'm
do
too
everything they
old.
like.
That's the other fucking problem. If
Go
I
in there
could,
with Yeezys on.
I could do that, right? Technically, I could decide to do that.
Get some Balenciaga Wave Runners or whatever.
Right, I could do that, but then I'd be pathetic, and they would call me pathetic and make fun of me. There's really no winning when you're 40, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Wow.
It's
It's
just a
tough,
crisis I
man.
have,
Yeah, I
man.
know.
Yeah, I want
I'm
to be
worried.
cool, dude. I'm not cool anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, going and eating a Taco Bell, you're not.
I don't eat inside the Taco Bell. I go in and order it to go and take it, which is a fucking normal
Like,
thing
would you-
to do for a normal person.
Okay. Why wouldn't you just enjoy the furniture?
Because I don't want to
your
be
house?
in there, dude. I don't want to hang out in the Taco Bell. Okay, I don't want to eat there. My wife wants to eat Taco Bell.
You want to pretend like you made it at the house?
I want to facilitate her eating at Taco Bell if she wants that. If Taco Bell makes you happy, I'm going to be the person that makes sure that you get it. And I will do that for you. I will go to Taco Bell for you. But we got to go in. We're not going through the drive-thru.
Yell through a speaker for
I'm not
food.
going to yell through a speaker. Number one, everybody probably hears you around this. I didn't think about like before.
Yeah.
About how everybody
what they
around
do.
you, and I'll be walking by a drive-through and I'll hear people order, and I'm like, yeah, let me get a bacon cheeseburger.
Yeah, there's somebody that's writing down your license plate and recording the audio of it and sharing it on a website.
It's possible. You never
so
know.
that all your neighbors can see
We'll get
it.
some
That's like the
chuckles.
dark web of next door.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to? God, you are psychotic.
Hi.
Hey there.
First time caller, decent time listener.
Last caller too.
Yeah, I was here. I was calling in to tell you guys about a small business tyrant story.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so this is my first job, first real job. I had like a lawn mowing job when I was a kid, but I was like 18. I was a food runner at this. It was back in like 2010, so it was when all those artisan wood fire pizza places came about.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
this guy made one, and he's like a complete asshole. I know he would get really drunk in the restaurant and just start yelling at some of the waitresses.
Oh no.
And then, yeah, it was pretty bad. But so one day, and this is also the type of guy. I mean, the whole back room staff was undocumented, and they were getting paid about $5 an hour, and working like, I don't know, 12-hour days every day, and
Yikes.
working 6 days a week. And I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that, you know, he was threatening them with deportation if they, like, tried to ask for anything more.
Sounds
Whoa,
about right. I mean,
Jesus.
I know
Yeah.
I worked with that guy that hired felons, and it was the same way. He kind of acted like, "Where else you gonna go, motherfucker?" You know. And that's been actually, I'll
I
say
can't-
this, that I've read articles about how that's actually happening. Like 7-Eleven was doing it, right? whenever some employee became a problem for them, they were calling ICE on them. Like, I think that's something that actually happens, you know?
Oh yeah, that definitely happens. Like I've heard a lot about people do in construction too, and all of this stuff. And people getting injured and stuff like that, and then if they get injured, they just call ICE.
Yeah.
And deport them before anyone can, file any type of lawsuit or anything.
Yeah. And he paid poorly too.
I mean, I was getting paid minimum wage. It was my first job. I was a food runner, but I know one time I got tipped, like, I don't know, it was like a $3 or $4 tip, but he ended up taking the tip because he was like, food runners don't get tipped. So then every time when someone would tip me, I would tell the customer, I'd be like, hey, they're taking my tips, so just don't give them any more money. But
oh, God damn.
Anyway, one day he was... Yeah, he was a complete... So one day he's, like, doing some renovations in this place. He's opened up, like, a new wing to it, and instead of getting actual movers, he's using us. And he told us to move, like, all this, like, not heavy equipment, but furniture around. And he left a wine bottle on one of the it was like a shelf. So we're moving it, and the wine bottle falls off, and it breaks. And I don't know what the fuck happened, but, like, basically I had, like, all these shards, like, tiny shards of glass in my hand. And I was like, hey, man, like, this hurts. And he started yelling at me about how, what the hell are you doing? You're breaking my wine, even though, I don't know. He just told me to move this thing, and he left a wine bottle on there. So, anyway, like, this is my first job. I don't really want to get fired. So I like start cleaning it up, and like my hand is it's fucked up because it's just got like this glass in it. But yeah, and I mean that's kind of what happened. I know after I left, like I don't know, a few weeks later, because he's just an asshole and bad to pay and all this other stuff. But right after I left, my friend started working there, and he told me that basically this guy was going through 2 lawsuits because he put this kid in a headlock. Like gave him some kind of neck injury. Then he sprained this other kid's wrist because he was on his phone.
Holy shit!
Because he was on it, so he got mad at millennials, dude.
Yeah.
He just got flipped out. Like these motherfuckers, they're not living in the real world. They're living in that phone. And then boom,
I'll snap you out of reality.
Yeah, with an Italian, with a thick Italian accent because he was from Italy. But yeah. I mean, this guy, he was underpaying everybody. Obviously taking my $3 tip. He drove around a BMW like a brand new M3. Just a total asshole.
God damn.
Well, fuck that guy.
Yeah, what a piece of shit.
And
the restaurant's called Facci Italian Restaurant.
It's still open? Well, I guess he's getting all them tips.
Oh yeah, I think he just opened up another place. Yeah, I think he just opened another place, and I saw an article about it, and it was so funny. I don't know if maybe he's like changed. I don't know. It's been like 10 years, but it like in this article it talked about how he was just like an honest guy. I was like, this guy is. I just had to laugh because it's like this guy is like fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's hard to believe. That's unreal.
Well, hey, thanks for calling. Thanks for being the last caller.
Yeah. Have a good night. Thanks for taking my call.
You too. We will. Thank you for calling.
That is the call-in show.
It is 12:02. We probably started at 9:02. Get us out of here, baby.
This is the end of the show. We made it to the end. Street Fight Radio, 3 hours of calls. We do it every single week. That number to dial is 614-655-3887. We will be here next Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get in there early if you want to get in. If you want to get on the show, start calling 8:45. We went on pretty quick this week. I think we're going to be better next week, and we're hoping to upgrade the system. I got the cables on the way. If you want more Street Fight Radio, the Brian and Brace Show, another volume of that just came out on our bonus feed. That's $1 a month pledge.
It's me and Brace Belton, baby.
The Hustler's Handbook Volume 2 is coming out in digital form for $3 a month, people, and the LA show is out there for $5. So Lots of good reasons to jump on Patreon. If you're not the kind of person that can support us through a monthly subscription, and you want to chip in on some hams, I feel like some people deserve some hams.
Nope,
I don't want to hand them out.
Hammed out now. No ham for Brett. You're not allowed to hand out a ham for another month.
Okay.
I think we can do one ham a month. I don't mind throwing $80 at one ham a month.
Okay.
That's a fine business expense.
Well, I mean, if it's good for the show, you know,
I
we got to
don't
pay
know
our
if
we
it
got to
is.
pay our performers.
I don't know if it is good for the show.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's something we're doing.
It's good to be known for. It's good to talk around town, get some chatter going.
Yeah, people all over Columbus are walking around like, I gotta call in one time a month and get this goddamn ham. These
Yeah,
guys are
somehow.
handing out a fucking ham.
If
It's
you
like,
have a good story about shitty work environment or something, or if you're
It's the weirdest-
chasing birds around the country and telling everybody about our show, I mean,
are you sending Caleb a ham?
well, he gets a couple punches on his ticket. Like I said, he's like halfway to a ham right now.
Brett's fucking addicted to handing out hams.
I like
now.
it. Yeah, people love them. People just go fucking for ape shit over
Hey,
them.
fucking people out there in the street.
Once I saw how hungry they were for those hams, I just am addicted to that.
It's a ham that you
feel.
get. I would have just clarified this. You get this ham as a gift from work as a bonus. It's bad.
Yeah.
But if you get this ham from a podcast, it's
Good. Yeah. So thanks for listening, supporting, and watching what we do. You can see me live on Instagram, Street Fight WCRS. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook at Street Fight WCRS. If you want to send a one-time donation via Venmo, you can send that to venmo.com/streetfightradio. That's our name on there. We live stream these shows every Wednesday and Sunday, so come hang with the gang, act orangutan, and get in this chat room. It's fucking fun, and we will see you on Wednesday. Peace. All right.
That was a good one.
Dunzo.
That was actually good and the right length.